What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Hold on. Greg, don't move. Don't move. Greg, don't move.
Stop. Freeze.
What happened is, okay, and you have to be gentle with Greg Cody on Greg Cody Tuesdays. We were clearly all ready and prepared to start because live is dangerous, and we were ready to jostle Greg Cody awake. But he was doing something. He was busy doing
show prep.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what he was doing. Hold on, Greg. I asked you not to move.
Freeze.
Greg. I asked you not to move because his son is barking in his ear. Dad, headphones. But his dad can't hear him because he's not wearing headphones. Yeah. And so the show starts. Greg's cans aren't on. His old-timey cans aren't on.
Ah, the cans.
But Greg is looking. He stops doing what he's doing, and he's looking straight into the microphone, ready to go. Except the microphone's not there. It's off to the side. And what's going to happen is we're going to start the show, and then he's going to paw at it. And the show's going to start with him not prepared to start. And that's not the way I'd prefer my Tuesdays to start, with an old friend who says he loves me, doing an old-timey radio show on Tuesdays so that he may age with grace late in his career, one of the few in the media who gets to do so.
Right.
We run them out with pitchforks at this age.
Yes, we do. Can I move now?
Yes,
or
put
am I...
the
Okay,
microphone
good.
near your face,
Well,
please.
I tried to do that before, and you said, you screamed at me. I told you not
He
to
wanted
move.
you to do it 5 minutes ago.
All right.
Thank you, Stugotz. Thank you for living and loving support of me there, because, yes, that's all. He's not wrong. He did it, just not at the time when we start what we do.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all,
things.
in my head, I was 10 seconds late putting on my headphones. Christopher was barking at me.
Yeah.
The problem was he was
Rude.
literally barking like a dog, so I had no idea what he was trying to convey.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the show is sabotaging me at every turn, and let me give you the latest example. Sometimes we start at 8:59. Sometimes we start at 8:57. In this case, I'm looking up, I'm glancing up, it's 8:57.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got another couple of minutes, so I'm doing show prep. I'm diligently doing show prep.
Right.
What show prep? Tell me
did
what
you
this,
write?
What did you write?
Prepping it.
Tell me what the show prep was. Can I look at your computer?
No, it's private.
Well, if you
It's
move,
private.
hold on,
Thank you,
hold
Billy.
on.
Don't
No,
give
it's
away the
private.
goods,
Is it on your
Greg. Don't give
computer?
them what.
Is it on your computer right now?
No, it's written longhand
If
on a
I
piece of paper.
when I tried to start the show, you were busy typing something. And if I had to bet, Chris, if we could bet, if DraftKings could get us to do a live show that would take bets, am I finding him like uploading to figure out what his numbers are on his podcast, or some form of narcissism where he's just checking in on how successful am I on this Tuesday grift? Let me see what everyone tunes in to hear by the thousands because I'm charming Greg Cody.
Yeah.
Come listen to me on YouTube, where I won't allow my son to further his career with the Le Batard Show because he's too busy serving my needs at the end of his career.
Yeah, he can do it all. He can do both. I've trained him. I've brought him up right. He's multi-talented. He's not spread too thin. He's looking for more and more, and he can do it. But, I'm tying up loose ends. Okay, that's what I do.
It's so annoying when he says that. Anytime I want to go to lunch with him, it's like, all right, you ready to go? Let's leave in 15. I got to tie up a few loose ends.
No,
what
I'm
are you
with
doing around the house?
I am with Greg. He's dotting the I's. He's crossing the T's. Yeah.
I've got loose ends out the ass. I mean,
Sure. I know you do.
because I have so many balls in there.
Right. And at this stage of your life, you got to tie them all up. You
Right.
do.
Yeah.
You do. I'm
There's
with you.
always
Yes.
something, Greg.
Right.
Something always comes up.
Yep.
I'm telling you what, I got a million people I'm trying to keep happy. Even
Exactly.
though I don't have a staff,
a gag.
I'm beholden to many.
Yeah. You should get an assistant.
I need an assistant.
You do.
I'm
Yeah.
telling-
Can we pay for one?
I tell my wife that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
Hoping that she will volunteer for the task, and she does to a certain degree.
She
You know,
has a
she does a
job.
lot. She does. Yeah, she sort
She's
of
a
does.
high-powered attorney.
I know, but
she's
still.
a partner in running a firm.
I know, but she could do a little
dwarfs your
more.
salary by billions.
She could do a little more around
But
the
like
house.
her son, how about she multitask? I mean,
Exactly. Right. Thank you.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chatting the noise, move too quick, can't stop
for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the let out the sheets. You came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. My girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I don't know the phrase you just said, but Greg Cody Tuesday just got off to a triumphant start during the Shadow Show because, and this was mortifying to watch and listen to, you said some form of keeping balls in the air, and the phrase you used before that was what? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Loose what?
I have loose ends out the ass.
Yeah.
And, you know, tying up loose ends. There's a lot of them, and I'm a very organized man, okay? That's why I could never be on a TV show like Chopped, because I don't like juggling things, and, you know, I couldn't be making 3 foods at once.
You're the slowest cooker ever. You're a great cook, but you take forever.
I'm systematic.
Well, he's not a great cook because he's like, he hasn't won a single cook-off here at Meadowlark. So he has the reputation of a great cook, but when it's been tested on our show, he's lost every time.
Well, you know.
He's lost every time.
A couple of those results are in a little bit of dispute.
Right.
You voted for Roy's turkey over
It was
there.
a great turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great turkey.
When it comes to the cook-offs here, the fixing's in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be.
Right.
I didn't say it, but Billy makes a valid point.
Do it in Greg's kitchen. How about that?
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. Yeah,
right.
I'm in a foreign studio here. I'm working with, you know, the turkey cook-off was ridiculous. Roy is in a palatial suite here at the Elser.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a parking garage lighting a propane tank as cars are whizzing past me in concrete, and I'm in a corner. It was an unfair situation.
Can we get back to loose ends?
I'd never bring that up.
When I text you, I'll be there in 10 minutes, we're going to lunch, and you say, I got to tie up some loose ends. What the bleep are you doing?
Okay, chances are I'm on my computer, on this very computer.
Mm-hmm.
I still call it a laptop. I don't know what it calls itself. And I'm probably doing Herald work. I'm trying to do this. I gotta.
What were you doing before the show? You were checking your downloads, right?
Downloads and YouTube views as well. But
Greg, show prep. I mean,
no,
come
I
on.
was doing show prep.
Show prep.
I was preparing something to say in case something on the list came up. You know, I'm a professional man.
Why don't you say what you prepared? Go ahead. This is your time.
No, because then it would betray a punchline I potentially would use later.
Doing comedy.
Wait, hold on a second. So you have one set up. How do we set
I
up the
love this.
punchline?
Yes, I love it.
We'll see what comes
You're
up.
just waiting for the right
let's
time.
get to it.
It's something on the list.
Right.
You
Okay.
know,
Wait a minute.
that kind of thing.
And you know it.
And you do know it. Thank you.
gag, yeah.
Billy gets me. He really does. And you know it.
You know what? I do know that, actually.
Thank you.
You know what? You think you've been fooling us all these years. You think that I don't know that Billy gets you. Yeah, I know Billy gets you. To my eternal disgust every Tuesday. It's the best joke we have of any kind.
And you know it.
Why don't you try getting him, Dan? It's not that hard.
Seriously.
You know?
Right.
Know me.
Yeah.
Accept him. Yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Adjust to me. Tie up your loose ends.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Offensive
We all
thing.
have them. We don't admit we have them.
That's true.
Everybody leads such an organized life.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid to admit they got loose ends.
Right.
Everybody's got loose ends.
Right.
You know?
Everybody
Right.
wants to act like their ends are all tied.
Right.
Not Greg.
No.
Why do you think they're so scared to admit it? I mean, the loose ends.
Because people want to be seen as perfectionists.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if Christopher calls me up for lunch and I got 5, 6 loose ends to tie up, I'm going to tell him.
I would argue tight ends don't have loose ends.
He's asking, what does that mean, though? Do we want to go? Look, there's stuff in sports to talk about, okay? There's a playoff game. I woke up in the middle of the night with great remorse because yesterday I identified the Vikings as one of the great teams. And all season I've been saying they're frauding.
Oh, boy.
All season I've been saying it's going to end just Darnold. It'll end. You will not convince me that it will not end. Like, we will not get into an offseason where everyone's pay Darnold because amazing Darnold, he's won the Super Bowl. That's not what we were going to do. But I legitimately want to know what, like Chris does, what are these loose ends we're talking about? Like, what do you have to do? Do you have to sort some paper clips? Like, what are the things Greg Cody has to do before leaving the house? Because, and the reason I was mortified before the show was, Greg Cody is very comfortable telling his wife to do more. Just yesterday on our show, both this giant toddler and his oaf of a son said Mom needs to do some better job with the wrappings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because she hasn't done a good enough job with the lawyering partnership stuff.
A lot of gift bags.
And
She's using bags now.
it's
I
cheating.
mean, it's cheating.
Look, this woman is a titan of South Florida industry.
And then she does the thing of, we're not throwing away any of these bags. So it's open the bags, fold them up neatly, and then hand them back to my mom. I know I don't want to waste paper, but it just becomes like, that's what she's focused on Christmas morning. Where are the bags? I need them back.
So next Christmas, you get the same bag?
Yes, they're recycled bags.
Terrible.
You're getting a gift in a used bag. You know, Gary the Bag Rosenfeld doesn't even do
He's
that.
rolling over.
the bag.
He's rolling over in his bed.
Greg, which cheating would be more offensive from your wife? Infidelity or the bags in terms of wrapping?
Right.
Right. She'll cheat on you once, but never use a gift bag
Yeah.
again. Oh, wow. Or she'll never cheat on you.
Would you allow
But
infidelity?
only gift bags.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Man, come on.
That's a
She
surprisingly
cheats on you
difficult
once,
question.
and every gift is perfectly wrapped.
Yeah,
okay?
I do love a perfectly wrapped gift. Oh my God!
do not disgrace this union.
Half of the joy of opening a gift is unwrapping it.
No, they've been married. She's
Just a dalliance once in a while. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Here's the other problem with a gift bag. It's always got the little bloom of tissue paper in it.
Enough. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
They act like I can't see in that
Right.
bag because of that
Tissue
little
paper.
piece of tissue paper.
Ridiculous.
I see that it's a pair of shoes, okay?
Right.
You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
I looked up the origin, Dan, to get ahead of this on loose ends because I knew that you might want it. Dates back to Shakespeare.
Again?
Lucy Endy.
Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah, again with the Shakespeare.
Nautical origin.
Will ye, nil ye.
Yeah. Wow. Nobody talks Shakespeare like this podcast. I'll tell you that.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with those kids? TikTok's gone down. How do you keep up with them? I know what we'll do. We got Cody and Stugotz. Let's ride into the sky.
We were talking before the show. What's coming after TikTok? We got to get ahead of the next big fancy app that everyone's going to be on.
Huh.
You got any ideas? What are your daughters on, Stugotz? Have they moved on from TikTok yet?
They're on TikTok and Instagram always.
Not
That's
for
it.
long. Not for
Yeah,
long.
I know.
Sad day.
Is it?
I think so.
Yes.
What does TikTok do for you that, like,
It gets me. TikTok gets me.
Okay, Lucy was mentioning the other day that during the pandemic, on TikTok, she learned how to do her makeup and her hair and all this stuff. If I Google, how do I make up my own face, there's 1,000 videos that come up. So how is that different than TikTok?
Well, if you're not connected to any of these things, so what I assume is that a whole generation that has gotten addicted to the devices in ways that we can't quantify how unhealthy the addiction is. TikTok does it better and more attuned to your manipulating your particular brain, so you will get lost in a world where you're more and more addicted to the sugary TikTok. I thought that was the connection point. I'm terrified of that kind of stuff because I know I have an addictive personality, and so it's the same reason I haven't tried cocaine. I'm like, oh, look, something's got everybody by the nose. In the AI age, and now we're running it out of our country because we're like, that gives China too much power over our young people.
You haven't tried cocaine, huh?
I'm too scared to.
Huh. Same.
I don't believe that at all.
What do you mean?
He's just tying up loose ends.
Can we do?
Yeah,
Can we do the oral history, the second half, the most honestly?
What do you mean by that?
Loose ends, I want to know what Greg Cody means by that because, and I asked the audience because, Stugotz, we had such a fun basketball game last night. It is rare with as much attention span as we're giving the games for Cade Cunningham to have a second half that would announce himself at Madison Square Garden on, when New York matters and when you break New York's heart, you've arrived, kid. The Detroit Pistons are like, no, we're better than you all thought we were, and the reason is our all-star. He crushes you in the second half. Foul trouble in the first half, and then he buries Cat and Brunson when Cat and Brunson are putting up numbers.
They're playing great, yes.
Yeah, but the Knicks are playing great, but I don't want to do that. I want to know what the loose ends are. I do.
Sure. Everybody has them.
For me, your loose ends are you go in your office and like reload your email and just see if there are any new ones. All right, loose ends tied.
Look, my horse syndicate is asking me yesterday, telling me that my deadline is up. Do I want to reinvest in Comley? That I got to deal with that.
That's a loose end.
That's a loose
Yes.
end.
Yep.
That's a loose
No,
end.
that seems bigger than a loose end.
That's
like
bigger than a loose end.
That's business.
That's
like
business. Exactly.
That's just a to-do
But
list.
that's not a loose end.
That's something to do.
Listen, he could put it under whatever
Yeah.
umbrella he wants to put it under. He puts that under the loose end, tying up loose ends. Yeah.
Loose ends are 2 and 3 minute things.
Well,
loose ends are not business syndicate deals.
No, but that's me answering an email saying, yes, I definitely want to re-up with Comley.
Right.
And then
Quick, easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and I have an offer to write another book.
something-
I'm dealing
Really?
with that.
What?
Major offer.
Yes.
That's not a loose end.
It's a loose end because
Yeah.
it's something I want to deal with right now.
A book offer?
I don't want to say yes.
It's his loose ends.
That's not a loose end.
That's up to Greg. Yeah.
A loose end is like I got to finish putting away the dishes before I go.
Okay, well that's another.
That's
one.
a loose
no,
end.
That takes forever.
That's another thing I do that your mother never does.
Whoa.
Is empty the dishwasher.
You guys are playing with fire. You guys are playing with fire
Why?
because Greg Cody thinks that he exists to live as a toddler all of his remaining days, and his wife, a partner in a firm, dwarfs him in every successful measure. But because he's big-timey sports columnist with some local fame, Greg Cody can't do anything else well other than fry a turkey on his driveway in bare feet.
One
Correct.
sad cone.
In Greg's defense, how many book offers does Arlene have?
That's a very good question.
Yep.
That's an excellent question. The
I'm just
answer-
asking. I'm not taking any
Right.
shots here. But
Right. No.
How many horses does she own?
Yeah. Thank you.
how many presents has she wrapped?
Right. How many podcasts does she host? I mean, there's a lot of things I do that she doesn't.
Right.
Let's be honest. But loose ends can be major. They don't have to be minutia. And so when I say I got to tie up a couple of loose ends, just trust that I mean
But
it.
that's just
Right.
there's a difference between a loose end and just something to do. I have to get back to this company on the book deal that they're offering is not a loose end. Like I mean, I don't want to get bogged down here, but it's just that's like the opposite. If you said to me, "What's the opposite of a loose end?" I would have said a book deal.
No, but me negotiating a contract for a new book is not a loose end. A loose end is me answering an email that says, that sounds like an interesting idea. Let me get back to you. Okay, that's a loose end.
The old
That's
kick the can down the road.
Yes, exactly. I'm a can kicker.
That's negotiating.
Can kicker.
Come on.
I love kicking a can too. I'm with you. You
Stu
okay,
got
Greg?
special.
Yeah. Yeah. You all right?
I'm still getting over this thing. It's kicking my ass.
6 years.
No. Come on.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Because of my pre-existing condition,
He's
when
not-
I have a cold or something,
Right.
it hits me harder.
You
Look,
might want to tie up that loose end.
Yeah, that's
Look,
a bit. That's
They don't let him. They keep
That's
nagging
bigger than a
him.
loose end.
Yeah.
I have not. We are belching out a lot of content. Okay. I have not laughed harder at anything we've made in any corner of the company this week than sniffing around the Greg Cody YouTube channel and just seeing Chris Cody being able to predict that his father was about to start coughing based on the number of laughs his father had previously wheezed on his father finding himself entertaining. The executive producing genius of getting in a tight window and hitting his dad with, "Here comes a cough," and getting out as soon as his father went careening from the screen with coughs in an office from the 1980s. while insisting his son do better and his wife pack better bags because, God damn it, he's got a successful podcast and he's going to cough and wheeze his way to every last profit in it. He'll get to those book deals as loose ends. He'll get to that horse syndicate as loose ends.
He already said yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in.
And he will tell you he does not come from privilege because he is on his driveway with toes he can't take care of, frying a turkey.
That's correct.
Telling his wife to get back in there and do better bagging the gifts during the holidays.
I mean, it's not a lot to ask.
I mean, she can cheat on him once. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a sore subject. It's not a lot to ask to wrap a gift.
I'm gonna ask my mom this, see what she would choose in this dilemma that we've created.
It's actually a very compelling either or.
What?
Yeah, no, it is.
for you.
How?
How?
How do you
would allow
disrespect this union this way? How do you do this?
It's not disrespecting a union. It's having faith and trust in my wife. I'm very secure in my marriage. I don't necessarily believe in open marriage, but it's not something that I condemn.
Right.
And I believe that much in a wrapped gift.
A perfectly wrapped gift.
Perfectly wrapped gift.
Yes.
Here's another thing. Nobody uses bows anymore and ribbons.
You're right.
Okay, when
Yeah.
you wrap a gift,
it's waste?
take the extra effort to put a bow on it.
Right.
Okay, and be careful where you place the bow.
Yeah.
The bow doesn't need to be right in the center of the rectangle or the square. I prefer a bow on a far corner.
Do you really? Huh?
Yeah.
Not smack in the middle,
No,
huh?
I prefer a far corner bow.
Not the near corner.
No,
Reach for it.
an FCB.
Right.
Exactly.
Greg, how do you feel about like handmade bow over here? How do you feel about handmade bows versus like the pre-made bows that have a little sticker on it that they just push?
Yeah. I don't mind the pre-made bow because I've tried to make my own bows out of ribbon. Not that easy.
Yeah.
Not that easy.
It's an art.
Yeah, it is an art. But I also like ribbon. I like ribbon.
Where you tie it, you go one way and then the other way, and then
Yeah.
you tie it.
I like the thicker ribbon, not the. I loathe the really thin ribbon.
Like balloon ribbon.
Very
The
tricky.
width of
Yeah.
a pencil. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to eliminate that ribbon altogether.
Right.
It's for birthday. It's not for Christmas or Hanukkah. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Greg, this is somewhat related to gift wrapping and the party situation. I don't know if you've seen this. Party City is going out of business. They're
have.
closing them everywhere. I have a concern. I don't know where I'm going to get my helium moving forward.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my helium spot.
Okay.
You know, you go, you take the balloons there, they fill them up. Now I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I couldn't begin to, the Helium Depot, I guess, is the place I'd send you to. But there's a Party City near me, and there's a big sign on their window. I think it said 99% off. I don't believe that. Are you telling me I can get a $30 statue for $29.70? I mean,
No.
For 30 cents? No,
Right.
that's not happening.
Well, they're going out of business, though.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, they are. It's
So
taking
maybe
a,
you can.
Taking them a long time to go out of
I
business.
know
Yeah,
they're doing the
right.
Elton
Slow
John
burn.
thing. It's like the
Yeah.
longest farewell
It
tour
is,
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Billy, I think Target is your answer, no?
I've never seen helium in Target once.
I haven't
Publix
either.
has
Used to be
some
Publix.
helium.
Do they
Yeah,
still
and
do that?
dollar stores have helium, but I don't know the process of like, can I bring in contraband balloons into a helium place for them to fill them for me? Because I bought a helium tank. I thought I was going to save a lot of money with a helium tank for one of my daughter's birthdays. Crap helium. So bad.
Really?
Helium doesn't last. A day, balloons were on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, bad. I got a bad dealer. Bad batch of helium, it
Wow.
seems.
You know what you could do? You could flip gravity, and instead of using helium, just hang your balloons from the ceiling.
That's not a bad idea.
I like that, Greg.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's another loose end I just invented. That's something that
You
you
just
have
tied
to
it up, yeah.
you think about it.
Right.
Who needs helium?
I don't think I have this wrong, though. I really don't. Do I have it wrong that loose ends, if someone tells you they'll be there in 15 minutes, I've got to tie up some loose ends, you're legitimately thinking needs to take the trash out.
Or the dog out before I go.
Needs
Like
to,
a small
but
task,
needs to
yes.
do something that when I say loose end, am I not almost instantaneously telling you that's something that takes fewer than 5 minutes?
It's never a decision. I need to make a decision on a contract offer.
It's not. It is a detail you have to handle that's not abstract about I need to make a life choice about where my future goes. That's not a book deal is not a loose end.
Yeah, a book deal's a tight end.
Well, you don't know. Like, you don't know what part of the book deal he's talking about.
Right.
Like, I mean, you never wrote a book, so what do you know?
With Team Valor, it could be as simple as just putting in his credit card. He's already made the decision. He's just letting him know I'm giving him the credit card.
I didn't
info.
see that one
Loose end.
coming. I got to be honest. He surprised me with that one.
Yeah.
That was a
good.
cleaver. I usually see where his cleavers are coming from. I was looking the other way, enjoying ourselves, and he got me. He's right. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Much like yesterday, I legitimately did not know what I was talking about. Chris, I'm telling you, this woke me up last night in my sleep. It was a funny thing to have wake me up.
The Pistons?
The Vikings.
Oh.
Oh, God.
So I thought to myself that yesterday on the show, when we were talking, I'm like, there are 5 teams that we know. I'm saying there are 6 teams we know are good. I initially started at 5 or 6. I think I said 5, 6, and then I settled on 6. And now I was trapped. I was stuck up in the air because I've been calling the Vikings a fraud all season long. I've told you this is how it ends with Sam Darnold, the way it ended against the Lions. The wheels come off. Hawkinson, Stugotz, Jefferson. You're talking about skill position players that are best.
Yep.
Naylor, when Naylor's your third receiver and you've got Jones in the backfield, if you're not making those skill guys work, you're the skill guy problem, right? And that's what it keeps coming down to when we do some of these measurements on things. Like, with the right coach and the right skill guys, if that's as strong as any in the league, if they stay healthy, we can scheme our way to hiding Sam Darnold right up until we run into the coach who had Sam Darnold. Right up until the coach who couldn't make anything of Sam Darnold when he was choosing between who do I want my next quarterback to be? Do I want a Baker Mayfield? Do I want to look at like Goff? Everyone runs through here. I'm the quarterback whisperer. Sam Darnold becomes a thing that was going to be paid a lot of money, right? Stugotz couldn't make it work with the Jets. We don't know how to measure quarterbacks. And yet my shitty analysis all season, lazy as hell, is like, nope, Sam Darnold won't win. You know why? Because he's Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Not lazy. You were right.
No, but then yesterday.
He got caught up in the air. He made them a good team.
And he said, and we made them a good team. And I, in the air, constructed the argument, well, they're 14-3. They must be. No, I knew they weren't. But I didn't stick to my guns.
Right. For starters, Sam Darnold, I think he got confused there. He was a 49er, never a Ram. So McVay never had Sam Darnold.
Forgive me, I did confuse there Shanahan and McVay, the people who make quarterbacks.
Right. Well, Shanahan's scared of good quarterbacks. He doesn't like expectations, that guy.
He sends them away.
But what happened is the Lions and Aaron Glenn really figured out how to attack this Vikings offense. And McVay said, I told my staff, do the same exact thing. Like, they have Aaron Glenn to thank for this because what he did last week against Sam Darnold, blitzing, putting a lot of pressure on him, making him uncomfortable. Sam Darnold was great all year, except for the last 2 games, and probably cost himself, I don't know, $100 million.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Yeah. Nobody wants him now, I guarantee you, because he's Sam Darnold again.
Right.
He was pretending to be somebody who was better than Sam Darnold. Now he has reverted to the mean. He's Sam Darnold
Can we
again.
talk about what the losses are, though?
Their 4 losses this season are in Week 7 to the Rams after losing in Week 6 to the Lions, and now in Wild Card Weekend to the Rams after losing in Week 18 to the Lions. So the Lions broke them, and then the Rams took advantage twice, and those are their only 4 losses of the season. If we take away the money that he cost himself, I could make the argument Sam Darnold helped himself last night. You don't want this big contract, these big expectations next year. Now he can go back to having Sam Darnold expectations. Maybe you go as a backup.
Right.
You're the savior if someone gets hurt. I'm telling you, Sam Darnold getting like a Tua contract.
You think it's relief?
Nobody wants that. Even Sam Darnold is like, I am not that good. Okay? I know I'm a little, I got plenty of money. Okay? I'm not saying he cost himself money last night, but stress, he helped his life last night with stress-wise going forward.
Really?
It's a good take.
That's the only place we're going to hear.
You will not hear that anywhere else.
Sam Darnold
No
is
doubt.
relieved
But
that they lost.
Dan always says, keep expectations low. You know what Sam Darnold did the last 2 games? He brought expectations back down.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you're Sam Darnold. You're
Yes.
not a savior.
Right.
Because if he played well the last 2 games, he was going to get a big deal this offseason.
So he did
And
it
he
on
didn't
purpose.
want that.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants
Who
that.
would want that?
Nobody wants
Yeah.
that. I'm telling you, fiscally, he wants that. Emotionally, he wants no part of that.
Right.
Yeah, valid.
It's a great take.
Yeah, that's your own, man. Nobody's coming after that take.
No one wants it.
You know what is wonderful. What is wonderful about what just happened there? Because yes, everyone stand back and salute. Off of that game last night, everyone's eating at this trough. Everyone is looking. What's the space I can occupy that no one can occupy? Everyone's going to have the take that I just did. Hey, Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold. Chris has said something that is almost purposely outrageous and outlandish and also true. True. Because everyone wants the $50 million contract, yes, but then what are they paying for? Oh, the expectations. No, get those off of me.
So this is the anti-Matt Flynn?
Well, Chris is the anti-athlete mentality of please give me all the money. Don't make me do any of the work. I just want the money. And Sam Darnold now, no expectations, can go back to being Sam Darnold, what we all thought Sam Darnold was, instead of what Sam Darnold dreamed he could be.
Chase Daniel. That's what a life that guy had.
Sam Darnold had 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Someone's going to sign that guy to a big deal,
Right, but now he'll get 17, 18 million a year instead of 50.
Right.
And now he just you make plenty of money,
Right.
and you lose the stress.
Or he gets to be the highest paid backup quarterback in the league, which is the best thing you could be.
If the
Maybe
Dolphins,
Miami.
If the Dolphins get Sam Darnold, that's good.
But you guys have him settling for a backup role.
I'm just saying.
Why not get over the starter role?
Where do you think he is now after these last 2 games?
I think I don't think it's going to be the Vikings because they have a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, but I do think there's a team who needs a quarterback who's going to sign Sam Darnold to a
Right.
pretty big deal.
New York Jets.
Yeah, maybe. It might be the Jets. It could be.
He's definitely not waking up happy today, though.
Well,
I'm just saying the stress of
Relieved.
the big deal. The stress of the big deal. Going as being the savior. Sam Darnold, you're not that guy. You're not that guy, and I think he knows it.
Whoa, I don't know what that means. A whole lot of people are saying not that guy, to others, not that guy. Cam Newton says Jason Whitlock's not that guy. Jason Whitlock hits him over the head with a Bible. You got 8 kids by 3 women. Like that's what we're doing. Those are the games we're playing. Those are the loose ends in the politics fight.
How'd the Bible come into this?
Yeah, politics.
It's where Whitlock hides.
I thought we were talking about Sam Darnold.
yeah.
That's what they told Gino. Gino, you're not that guy. And Gino proved them wrong.
The answer is,
Yeah, but he's a fragile that guy.
He's a slightly better guy than
Yeah.
the one they had.
is he that guy? He's just a guy.
He's a fragile that guy. Baker Mayfield's still a fragile that guy.
No.
Yeah,
Here,
No.
You expect
No,
Baker to
come
become
on.
Baker.
No,
many
no,
mistakes.
Baker's more of that guy than Geno Smith
come
is.
on.
That's
come,
true. I
come
agree
on,
with that.
Come on.
Baker is
that.
closer to being a great quarterback
Come
than
on.
Gino.
Come
Yes.
on.
Kirk Cousins, no longer that guy.
I love
but
that.
close. Close to that guy, but
No.
not that guy.
Wait a minute.
There's 2 different things here.
Kirk Cousins went from being that guy 4 times to
He's not that guy. He's
He's
a guy.
not that guy.
He's
He's
back.
a
He
guy.
may have been
Right.
that guy for a small period. He's back to being a guy.
wait
Yeah.
a minute. What do you?
Jared Goff was not that guy. Now he's that guy.
Okay, I
Right.
need some help.
No, Jared Goff was a guy. Now he's that guy.
There's
That's
only
right.
like 5 or 6 that guys, you know?
Yeah, that's
it
true.
in the NFL.
I'd say there's like 8 or 10.
There's not 8 to 10.
There's a big 3.
Right.
Okay,
Kyler
let's
Murray's,
list all of these.
Kyler Murray's
He's not
a
that guy.
He's
I
a
think Kyler Murray's that guy.
He's
No,
a
he's,
guy.
For
no,
that
he's not
team,
that
a
guy.
guy.
No,
For
he's
the
not.
Cardinals?
A
No.
guy?
No, he's
He's
a
a
guy.
marginal
He's a,
that
he's
guy.
a guy at the moment,
Yeah, he's
right?
low
I
that
mean,
guy.
that guy means that you're taking your team and lifting them to a place that they wouldn't be otherwise. I think with Kyler Murray,
Yep.
you find some other starters around the league. Maybe he's just one of those guys.
Jaden Daniels, that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
Wait a minute. That's
for
the
now.
easiest. Hold on a
He's that
second.
guy.
Yeah.
Hold. Okay.
Caleb
Wait
Williams,
a
not
minute.
that guy.
Wait a minute.
Not that guy.
Not that guy.
Great
Yeah.
call, Greg.
Not
Not
yet.
that guy.
Yeah.
Bo Nix might be that guy, even with a first-round loss. Same with
He's
Baker
that
Mayfield.
guy.
He also
Yeah.
might not be.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, right?
So-
Bryce Young is that guy.
yeah. Well,
Whoa.
yeah. There's hope.
Hey, hold on. What are we doing?
You mother.
Come on. Now.
You might be that guy.
Yeah,
You might
God,
be.
you
He very well
ruined
might
the
be.
game. We could have
Chance to
blamed
be
that
that
guy, a guy for months, and you ruined it by throwing the Bryce
When you
Young
throw that
nuke in
touchdown,
there.
you don't even see them catch the touchdown. You're that guy.
Sometimes that guy becomes a guy. Last year, C.J. Stroud, that guy. This year, guy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
fluctuate.
come on. Just a
Yeah. It can go week to week, honestly.
Guy is a
Guys,
fragile
come
thing.
on,
Fragile thing.
Guys.
Loose ends.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Tua might be that guy.
Right. Might not.
Wait a minute.
When he feels like playing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're telling everybody that C.J. Stroud is just a guy.
Yeah.
Which means you're also then going to make Justin Herbert just a guy, correct?
He might not even be a guy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we don't know.
Are you? That's the highest.
jury's out.
Wait a minute. I believe that what you have done. You tell me if there's a better one than this. I believe that you have just brought a guy to the limits of where a guy can exist to insult C.J. Stroud. I believe you're not taking into account how hard that position is to play and how hard it's been to play as him this season with pressure up the middle. Like, for you to hit him from over here with a guy, give me a better quarterback that you insult more than C.J. Stroud by just calling him a guy.
Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. Guys.
Love's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
Jordan Like.
Yeah. Last year, Jordan was that guy, and now he's just a guy.
Well, he's
It
that guy
happens.
during Toyotathon.
Yeah.
And he's a guy otherwise.
Right.
Some guys turn into a guy. I mean,
Nothing wrong with being a guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be that guy.
Like Caleb Williams might still be that guy.
Right.
Right now, just a guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
There's
Correct.
time.
Is Matthew Stafford that guy?
Yes.
I think he is.
I think the Rams
He's
are
that
going to the
guy.
Super Bowl.
He's been that guy even before last night.
Yeah, Matt Stafford is that guy.
Yeah.
Is he just Matthew now? He used to be Matt, didn't he?
He grew up, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt.
That's
He's
weird.
to wear a
rare
backwards
both.
hat.
I think he's the rare both.
He was Maddie back in grade school. There's a gladiator in the room.
Roy, we'll wait for you. That's fine. I'm a little bit confused. I really want to dissect what's
By
just
the guy thing?
No. I wanted to stay there, but Roy has decided that whatever his today miseries are need to interrupt what we're doing here with 6 minutes left in a live segment, so that he can tell us all about how miserable he is. We'll get to that in a second.
No, we will get to it now. I had my car broken into, which is why I'm.
Oh, no.
Man.
That's why he's dressed like a gladiator.
Sorry, Roy.
Yeah, my
If only they
chariot
saw
was
the way you were
broken
dressed.
into. Yeah,
Would have thought
Sorry,
twice.
Roy.
yeah. So yeah, that's been my morning, and of course this is my respite. I'm feeling actually pretty good now. I'm actually wearing something because I'm not thinking about my chariot being broken into today.
Chariot.
How about that?
Well, but you understand my confusion, though, right? Like, I'm sitting here doing a show, and for the first time in months, the entire room has seized on something. A guy, the guy. And what comes into my room?
That
A
guy.
sad gladiator. That guy.
Sadiator.
Yep.
A sad gladiator comes in, and I could see there were a few minutes left in the segment. I'm like, this is curious. Roy has never done this before. Do you know how good Roy is at not getting in the way of anything that we're doing around here? He has been doing that well for 20 years. For him to come into a room so deeply moping that he would interrupt I was watching the ball bounce around the room in a way that was delighting me.
Right, but the chariot. I mean,
Yeah, but he comes in dressed as a gladiator, but he's also downtrodden. Like
He should be.
Yeah, because of how violating, how invasive it is to have your things just stolen,
Is that a loose end?
taken.
That is bigger than a loose end.
Oh,
Someone
That's
came for all his
A
stuff.
contract offer, but not. I don't know
Anytime
what
you're
doing.
having to deal with an insurance company,
Yeah.
that's a
don't
mega
get me
end.
started.
big deal.
That's a gaping end.
Exactly. So not a loose end.
No.
You just
No.
made my point.
It's gaping.
It never ends. Yeah.
Right.
Right. It's a
Like
big
acting.
thing to do. It's not a loose end.
Yeah.
He didn't call it a loose end.
He
Right.
did.
Greg would never.
It's a gaping end.
Uh-huh.
A
I-
GE.
I would think that the gladiators were I think Roy probably has encapsulated the attitude of most gladiators. I don't think gladiators were particularly gleeful.
No. Most gladiators used to go into battle, hoping to not die.
Yeah, you had to go out and do some killing. I think that's hard work.
You never see a guy smiling while jousting on a horse.
Only the psychos,
Well, their faces are generally
the Dahmers
covered.
of the
That's
world.
true.
They could be smiling.
That's true. They are covered.
Fighting a
You're right.
tiger or something.
Like the Michael Jordan of jousters probably smiled a little bit, maybe smirked.
Because he knows he's got you. Right.
Would you rather fight a bull or a tiger with a sword?
Let me get to that for a second.
Good question.
But before I do that, put it on the
Probably
poll,
the bull.
please, at Le Batard Show. Have you ever seen a guy smiling while jousting on a horse? Because he's right. Terror can look like a smile, but while jousting, I would imagine someone would not likely to be feeling glee. But let's answer Billy's question, since he's an asshole.
What?
Nonsense.
What's your question about bulls, or would I rather a tiger fight a tiger or a bull with a sword?
Yeah, we were talking about gladiators. And I think about bullfighters, kind of the modern day gladiators. Gladiators would fight, tigers sometimes. So if you had to choose.
I'd go with a bull. I feel like a tiger's more mobile.
Yeah, a tiger can leap.
Yeah, that's true.
Got claws. And
I went to the zoo, and and they said, I don't know if I believe this to be true. We can ask Ron if the zookeeper was lying to us. They said that sometimes when you don't see the tigers, they're hanging out in the trees, that they just climb up in the trees for shade. And I don't believe that to be true. I believe that they just have them hidden away at that moment, and they tell us, oh, no, they're in the trees. There's no way they're in the trees, the tigers.
Maybe if I have a sword, I do want to go against a jumper. You catch the
That's
tiger
what I'm
on
saying.
a big
I'd
jump.
rather have a sword
Do
against
like,
the
kinda
tiger.
Like the giraffe thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll ask Ron McGill later, but I don't want to get too far away from the idea that Roy has been. You're coming in with a man who feels like he is wearing something invasive, something that it's not. No one goes to bed at night expecting in the morning that someone's going to violate their personal space, and they will be. And I don't know what they took.
luckily, I don't carry any valuables in the car. I don't think they took anything from Anid's car because Anid's car was also broken into. So, filed the police for reporting everything. So that's all done. But yeah, that's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling at all.
Can I ask their tactic? Was it like through the window? Did they?
No, they opened the door.
Oh, it's just.
Well, did you lock it or
no?
No.
That's not victim blame.
Ooh, Roy, sorry, man.
No.
Yeah, forgot to.
Yeah, I forgot to.
This is awkward.
Might want to lie on that insurance report and say that you locked it.
Well, now you said it on air. Don't say that.
Take it back.
I think you should go break your own window, Roy, and just say they broke your window.
I mean, the cops filled out the police report already, so that's.
Were they on the
done.
take? Did you tell them something and then maybe slip them a 20?
No, I don't carry cash.
Well, don't say that.
No
That's
slipping.
good. Anyone out
could
there
Venmo
wanting to
him.
hold up Roy, don't do that.
Yeah, you won't get anything.
No cash. Loose ends.
Brock Purdy, a guy.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Just a guy.
Just a guy.
Trying to be that guy.
What about Drake May?
Coming up short.
Wow.
Might be the guy.
Still
be
a
the
guy,
guy.
though. Still a guy.
Might graduate to guy. Maybe.
He's going to be the fall guy when Vrabel doesn't work out. We all know that, right? He's out of there in 3 years, then Vrabel in 5.
Yep.
Mark it.
Unless he's good.
You have to lock your doors.
Greetings to all. Welcome to 2022. Omicron is on the run, and away it went. But oops, there goes gravity, and here comes a new variant. Omaha, Corona, Hut 1, Hut 2, nothing infects the Super Bowl, and nothing stops football.
racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's human cockfighting. CTE prayer circles. They blackballed the black baller. They tried to end racism by stenciling it in the end zone. Billionaire boys using millionaires as toys. It's all immoral, all unethical. Ooh, the witching hour. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's Urban and Snyder and Flores and Gruden, but Kyler, but Kelsey, but Cooper, but Canty. It's cheating and tanking and bounties and banking, but parlays, but face paint, but promo, but pennies.
Here we go. This one's for all the glory. Give it your best, it's all you got. Don't look back. Oh, it's all part of the story. You talk the talk, now walk the walk. Yeah.
When the game's on the line, will you have the guts to make the call? When it's crunch time, will you make us scream? God bless.
From the back of every bar, on the subway, on the streets or in your car, wherever you have found yourself, scream out your battle cry. I'm all in. I'm all in. Fourth and goal, or pin back at your 30. Time to prove you're a hot shot. That's attack. Oh, your name is Brandon Staley. Unleash some hell and go for gold. Yeah. A few yards a game. Does your QB have the guts? Will you just punt or throw it up to Cooper Cup? Say it louder. From the back of every bar or the subway, on the streets or in your car, wherever you have found yourself, scream out your battle cry. I'm all in.
One play at a time, boys. One play at a time. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
All in. All in? I'm a fan of the Jets. I'm a fan of the Jets.
Jets. Why this team?
The Jets! The Jets! The Jets.
Stugotz, what's the matter, buddy?
I mean, Greg, just one time. I mean, 40 years I've been rooting for this team, and just one time I wanted my team to play in that big game in that beautiful dome in Los Angeles.
Dome? What about the elements? Back in my day, we didn't play in a dome. Let me tell you, back in my day, we considered football to be an honorable game. We didn't have to pass the ball every single play, and that's how we did it back in my day. It's the cold in December and sweltering two-a-days. It's embracing occasional punts, and don't get me started on instant replay. Now we're cooking with gas. Watch out! I'm not done, by the way. Let me tell you, back in my day, there was no showboating. We respected the game. We sat on a stoop and let the radio play, 'cause that's how we did it back in my day. It's the wishbone I wish for. It's a toss to Red Grange. It's a first down without a taunt. Playing the game the right way. Whoa! No retractable roofs. I'm talking frozen tundras and ice bowls. No bad Brooklyn. That's why they call it football weather. Bud Grant and the Purple People Eaters, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they played the game back in my day. It's Len Dawson enjoying a smoke and a brew during a game. It's Hank Stram wearing a sports coat. Legalize the clothesline and bring back drop kicks while you're at it. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Bop. That kind of thing.
Thanks for the lift, bro.
No problem.
Yo, what is this? Is the musical? Turn it down, man. Like, I'm so tired of it. Musicals are corny. The shit is corny. Like, me tiene hasta aquí with this musical stuff, man. Just turn it down. I want to just chill, man, for real.
I feel you, bruh. I used to be that same way. Then my dog Andrew Lloyd Webber touched my soul with Phantom. And I quickly realized that, man, musicals, they're the highest form of theatrical art that there is, my brother. Think about it. It combines song, movement, dialogue, and production in a comprehensive fashion that really can't be rivaled. I'm talking about really, like, intricate shit, man.
In many ways, musical led the cultural change in the 1930s, which was considered to be the golden age of musicals. Had those supremely talented artists not pushed boundaries and helped shape the new American pathos back then, I don't know if I'd be here right now today, standing in front of you. No cap, like no capadonna. Musicals had the capability to make you feel ways that you never thought possible. Even if you might find the subject matter mundane going into it, by the end of the experience, you might find yourself spiritually enlightened through the magic of song and an occasional exposition to advance the story. Matter of fact, I'm feeling ways about football right now I could never dream prior to. I think I'm about to have a moment, my brother. Way down in the jungle deep, a lion bit a Viking on his motherfucking knee. It began in 1869, I see you, Mojo, with a match between the Princeton Tigers and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Then in 1880, along came a man named Walter Camp, the father of American football, the Waltster. Wham, as they called him. He established the snap, the line of scrimmage, 11-player teams, and the concept of downs. The gladiator spectacle. Though the game has evolved over time, at the heart of it, the game of football is just a primal means to tell the age-old story of the triumph of the human spirit. Can you and your teammates overcome the brutal battery?
I just was personal witness in the wild to one of the great love story old man connections around baseball cards and all things that bring sports purity and love to bond two men. The moment I just witnessed, natural, right before the cameras came on in here, of Stugotz and Greg Cody talking the love language of men. And I'll tell you what it was. I don't have the context for it. I started listening at the end, but it was a magical moment of love story between the height of masculinity. Stugotz said to Greg Cody, for reasons I don't understand, "Oh, Teddy ball game." And Greg Cody didn't give him 1 point.
Yeah.
Gave him 2 points.
Yep, I really felt the second one. Yeah.
Because of a baseball player named Ted Williams.
Teddy ball game.
In the 1950s and 60s, and the glorious old sports day of when a nickname still meant something.
Damn right.
We thought you were talking about Teddy Bridgewater back here.
No, well, we were. It started there because Greg and I were talking about how important the backup quarterbacks are, especially this time of year. You're one play away from having to go to the backup. It happened with Damon Ewart a few years ago, and he took the Chiefs on a 98-yard drive. So I have ranked the remaining 8 backup quarterbacks that we have left in the playoffs. One of them is Teddy Bridgewater. That morphed into a conversation of top 5 Teddys of all time. How about that?
Wow.
Crazy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how genius happens, Start talking about Teddy Bridgewater, anything can happen.
Yep.
Teddy Bridgewater, I've been asking our guest bookers to get Teddy Bridgewater for us because it's a really cool story. Like, just happened pretty quietly. You don't get in and out of football unscathed, with what that game costs. As Chris Cody's arguing, I don't want to be Sam Darnold, just want his money. That is, my father's been saying that since childhood. I don't want to be Burt Reynolds. I just want his money. That's what Chris Cody just said as a sports argument for why he would or wouldn't want to be a quarterback. He just wants the money. Teddy Bridgewater got some of the money. Reliable backup. Comes to our city, dominates state high school football, leaves a champion, goes back to the Detroit Lions, and they might need him for a drive. And, man, that's going to be a nice story.
That's what I'm
if
saying.
somehow injuries
Yes.
come and grab everybody in the sport and the Lions need a rescue, because you know there are 4 other teams that are almost as good as the Lions, and, might the Rams be one of them?
Yeah.
Might the Rams be one of them? Because I'm pretty sure that Stugotz, after last night, is willing to say the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
I am willing to say the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. You know, if you're an Eagles fan, that was the worst case scenario playing out last night. You wanted the Vikings, and now you're getting a Super Bowl champion quarterback and a Super Bowl champion coach, and that coach is 18-3 in December, January, and February.
And they're healthier. Like
Yes.
That's the quarterback.
They're healthier, and it's weird. That team is weird
And the
in,
coach.
in that it is strange. We can agree on this. It's unusual to have a system that has 2 of these unbelievably rugged physical receivers that no one can stop. To have 2 of them and a quarterback who can no-look pass in a Super Bowl because he's so comfortable throwing a football. Like, if you can't stop 2 receivers who the only failure of that team is if their bodies don't hold up. Correct?
Yes.
Because one of them was a 2,000-yard receiver and the other one comes behind him and is a 1,700-yard receiver. And you're like, wait a minute, how does that happen? It must be system and coach and quarterback working together rhythmically, and all the detours the thing is health. Like, there is nothing. It's a grinding machine that'll win the Super Bowl. Maybe it stops at Belichick and Brady because Goff's your quarterback. But if you've figured out system and quarterback and timing, and you've got a durable quarterback, and his skill guys are those 2, right? Because I don't know. Who do you guys view as the best skill guys in the league? We look at Cincinnati, obviously.
Minnesota.
But when I ask you about this, when I ask you about what this team does with its no-look quarterback and 2 receivers impossibly built to get 2,000 yards in a way you cannot stop. It's not, I do not care what you do. I don't care how good your corners are. I don't even need totally to throw the ball to the tight end in the seam very much anymore. In the Super Bowl at drive time, when I had to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, Matthew Stafford has so much comfort in Cooper Kupp that even though he's the only healthy receiver left, he's making no-look passes to a person we know he's going to throw it to, because some people are so quick that you're never going to actually cover Lad McConkey. Like, he's just never going to be covered. Like, it's not a thing that can be covered either when it's that small and quick. So that team, everyone in the sport is scared of for what I just said, right? Oh, no, they've got 3 guys like that, and those 3 guys are kind of indestructible. They'll beat Tom Brady on 4th and long when you know he's got to throw it to Cooper Kupp in the playoffs. Everyone is terrified of that team. More than the Bengals, more than I'd say even the 49ers. Billy's never believed in them, but I don't think Billy would have anything bad to say about the Rams. Like, we all know if that team's healthy, it's terrifying.
They also have a good tight end who got injured last night, but not seriously.
Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, and then Williams is an above-average running back. I mean, that is a great offense. I would still say Baltimore has more weapons and is a better offense, but the Rams are great.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but if we get Rams at Lions for the right to go to the Super Bowl, it might be a better championship game than the AFC game. Like, that is great.
It's a great
That
game.
is so rich with storylines, man.
Yeah, and
If the Rams could derail the greatest season in Detroit Lions history.
If Stafford could.
In Detroit, wait a minute. You want storylines like the soap opera
Revenge
basketball stuff? Hold on. Healthy Rams with Matthew Stafford as the quarterback. Matthew Stafford is the best Detroit Lions player ever who did not quit on the franchise early in his career because the franchise has sucked for 50 years and swallows everyone and everything, even if it's Barry Sanders.
I like that. He's the greatest guy who stuck with the franchise.
He's the greatest guy to not quit for that franchise.
He quit emotionally.
No, he didn't.
He asked for a trade.
No,
Didn't he?
no, he didn't.
He stayed right
He got
there.
traded. Look, Matthew Stafford is one of the. Look, you say you don't want the expectations of quarterback money. Stafford was the highest paid quarterback, and I was like, you can't pay him like that. Detroit Lions never win anything. He's their best player. They never matter. He goes to California because McVay says, Goff, that's as high as I can go. I'm going to arrive at Belichick's doorstep, and I'm going to lose 13-3 because that's as high as I can go with you as soon as Todd Gurley gets hurt.
Right.
If you don't have your running back, I can't do it with just you. So I can't do it with 20 touchdowns in my running game. And so I'm going to send you to Detroit, and Detroit says, this is a stopgap. We're rebuilding with Man Campbell. This isn't a serious thing. We're going to take this money. We all know this is bad money in golf. Golf can't succeed like that without McVay, right? I don't have any parts of the story wrong yet, do I?
No.
For him to go back to Detroit and break the greatest season in Detroit history's heart because Stafford can no-look pass when you, in the Super Bowl, when you get him 2 receivers, or you get him just one. It's like one who won't quit. One who won't quit because of franchise dysfunction. One who won't quit because he's properly supported. It is crazy to say that I would take as my Super Bowl champion any one of the remaining teams that you give me if I can just add those 3 guys and put it in the middle of my offense. I feel like I can go on the road and beat anybody. I will play on any team in the league, and I will just drop in. I'll take out your 3 skill guys and put those 3 skill guys on, and I think I'll take my chances with Kupp, Puka, and Stafford against everyone in the league.
And Kyron Williams. I mean, I want to see that game because all the pressure will be on Detroit. It's their year.
Sure.
It's their time to get to the Super Bowl, and in walks Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I love a good cagey veteran Super Bowl champion quarterback strolling into a stadium. I
Please.
do.
In strolls Matthew Stafford. The guy never did shit in Detroit. It's not like this hollowed ground that he owns Ford Field and he's going to come in and dominate again. Guy was a quitter, honestly. When they brought in Dan Campbell, the new GM, he went to Chris's point. He went to management and he requested a trade because he said that he thought another teardown was going to come. Matthew Stafford, you know why the Lions didn't win? You were their quarterback, buddy. It was on you. You should have done better. Then he goes and he has little dalliances in L.A. and he wins the Super Bowl, and the city welcomes him back as a champion, and they name streets after him and do all these things. We're so happy for Matthew Stafford. And you know who doesn't get his flowers? Jared Goff. The guy who came in there and he stuck with them and has elevated this team, carried them on his back to the promised land that they haven't seen because of Matthew Stafford. And now we're going to come in and we're going to say, wouldn't it be a great story if Matthew Stafford comes in and he ruins the party? No. It would be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. I hope that the Lions demolish the Rams. And thoughts and prayers to everyone out in L.A. But I hope that the Lions demolish the Rams.
Good
What
save.
was that?
Yeah.
That you have to
Good
say
save.
that.
You
You say that because you can't
No,
actively.
we weren't even thinking about
That
it.
was not a
But you
good
can't.
save.
Just in case anyone was making the connection,
Right.
saying, "Oh, the Rams."
That
I
was
know what's
not
going
better
on
on the
out
front
there.
end, though. Just-
Exactly right. Like I want to say, I thoughts and prayers with everyone out there in LA. I hope everyone, downloads
the
Heidi's
sarcasm-
song and all that stuff and
no,
sends it to number
the
1 on the Apple
sarcasm,
charts because
no.
that's how we're healing
I
now.
don't hear it.
But I'm just saying, I hope that the Lions pounce on the Rams. This is not a feel-good story revenge game. It's a revenge game against him, Judas.
Was that a cough laugh? What was that sound? It sounded like somebody clubbed a baby seal next to me, and
It could be.
It spit up a sardine. What just happened?
I was laughing at Billy's take because while it may be accurate, it's also part of what makes this a great matchup full of storylines. And here's another storyline. Don Shula's grandson, maybe the
yes.
best defensive coordinator in football
He
that
works hard.
nobody's talking about.
Right. The Dolphins should hire him.
You know what?
Yes.
If they lose their defensive coordinator, which they might because he's being sought after.
I was going to say Dolphins had a top 5 defense this year.
I know, but also
But his last name is Shula.
Exactly.
And Anthony
You know what? You
Weaver
win.
is being
Yeah.
sought after.
Legacy.
so.
Yeah. Right.
To Greg's point, the Rams have only allowed 10 points or fewer in 4 of their last 5 games. So their defense is actually what's really helped this late season run for them.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you guys a question because for about the last 5 years, I can stroll in with the lazy analysis of the following. And this week, because of the stakes, because we're starved for football, because we make all things that just happen the most important thing in a sport where health really, really matters. For the last 5 to 10 years, I'm always thinking that the team that looks impressive this week can go on the road and then go play a rested team that is better than them and gets the reward in the game of attrition of being rested and playing at home, thinking that that team's chances are better than they ever are, because what often happens in this round is the team like the Rams gets dragged because the better team had longer rest, and we're all reminded, oh yeah, Detroit beat everyone in the sport by 225 points this year. They're better than everyone, and you always fall in love with the last team you see. I stopped doing analysis that way because of how often I was wrong falling in love with the wild card team.
Yeah. Rams +6 at Eagles. I mean,
Good.
I hear what you're saying, but +6.
But in this round though, the Eagles at least had to play.
Yeah.
Right?
You're doing the rest versus rust thing. Like, couldn't a team that had a bye come out rusty?
No, but you guys are talking about the Detroit game, right? And I was thinking of just what is coming up against Detroit and what the bye is going to mean to these teams. My more general analysis that I've been wrong every time because of how much I fall in love with the teams that are good in this round. And then when they do run up against teams that have the Chiefs bye, what ends up happening, it's almost impossible to beat them on the road.
Right. You see the Commanders win on the road. The Lions, they have a week off, and, the Commanders are the last thing you saw. And so you think to yourself, yeah, the Commanders have a shot here. And then the Lions remind you just how good they are and have been during the regular season. But, Dan, it does happen. Like teams from the wild card, they go on the road. It happened last year with Kansas City.
Yes. It's just in times of measurements that are weird and random. Yes, Eli Manning twice has gone on the road through all his playoff games,
right,
and won.
Aaron once, I think.
My larger point is what an amazing advantage it is in a sport that has so many close games that to have a week more of health is usually a pretty substantive advantage because playing a game every 2 weeks feels differently than some of the shit we were doing at the end of the season where we're playing 3 games in 11 days and Patrick Mahomes is limping off the field.
I think to your point, you see that in the spreads. Outside of Ravens-Bills, which is basically a pick'em game, big spreads. Like a lot of people are going to be looking at these underdogs like, oh, that's a lot of points. But to Dan's point, these 1 seeds and 2 seeds are just waiting.
Yeah, Philadelphia's only given up 6 points, though, to the Rams. That's pretty close for a
6?
Philly home
That's
game.
a big spread. What do you mean?
I don't think it's that big a spread. I mean, not compared to what, 8, 9.5 I'm seeing?
Right.
Lions are going to crush the Commanders. The Texans team I saw beat the Chargers has a chance to win in Kansas City if the weather's not crazy snowy.
See, no one thinks that.
Okay.
Don't say no one.
That's a big if, though.
You said they were very, 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 very far from being a contender.
Yeah,
that's what you said. They were very, 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 very far from being a contender.
And they proved me right for the next month or so. The team I saw beat the Chargers with that defense.
Be careful changing your mind. Be careful. I just did this with
Stay
Sam
there.
Darnold. I was good all season. You know how idiotic it is, Stugotz? And I am on the other side of 55 to fall into the trap of being right all season and then being wrong the day before just because I did my math wrong on how many good teams there are in the sport.
Changing your mind is a very dangerous game. Just stay entrenched. Greg, are you saying they're going to pull off the upset? Because if you don't say it, I will.
I don't think they will, but I think they have a good chance. If I see the same team as I saw beat the Chargers.
No, useless. That's right.
They showed you a lot in that game.
I don't think
did
they will, but
Useless.
they have a chance. Like,
That's
what
right.
is that?
Useless. Just fundamental. This is how your dad ages in the gambling game.
Okay, let me tell you something about changing my mind. Sometimes it's not about changing your mind, it's about recognizing an evolution. And I'll give you another example. The Baltimore Ravens defense early in the season, up until about midseason, was awful. Bottom 5 in the league. Most points allowed. Terrible. The Ravens defense changed because of Kyle Hamilton and a couple other things, and they're now a really, really good defense. That's not me changing my mind. That's me recognizing an evolution in that team.
Kyle Hamilton, not since talking about Bob Sanders making the Indianapolis Colts better for Peyton Manning. Because,
that guy could hit.
Because as a safety, he took them from the 30th ranked run defense by himself to a Super Bowl champion.
Oh, he was awesome, Dan.
It was
So good, like Steve Atwater.
He was the coolest.
It was unbelievable to watch. I'm like, how is there a safety being a superhero here? I'm so mad that Derwin James is out of the playoffs because these cornerbacks who are superheroes are amazing to me. Sanders.
He was helped by the name Bob, right?
Bob
Just having the
Sanders,
name
yeah.
Bob.
And I think he was a strong safety. That helps
right.
as well. Yeah.
But he not since then have I heard one team get more accolades for one move in its defensive secondary than what the Ravens have become defensively since Kyle Hamilton, which is number 1 in the league across the board for 6 weeks now.
Yeah, that's right. We like Bobs in America now.
It's why we like
do.
Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Bob's real name is Desmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's better with Bob.
Trying to
Bob
figure
is
out where
better,
that
yeah.
came
Bob
from.
is
But
fantastic.
how did he get from there to Bob?
You know what? You saw me hiccup on Bob Sanders and temporarily forget his name. It's because I don't associate athletic excellence with anyone named Bob.
That's
It's-
exactly right.
It stopped me where I'm like, do I have? I wanted to change his name to Mike.
Big Shot Bob? Hello?
Yeah. But
Bob Pettit?
But
Bob Clemente.
he was Robert, though. He was Robert.
There's no S in Bob's first name. Is Demond. Demond.
Oh, damn
no wonder
it.
he changed
Important
it.
note.
How'd we get to Bob, though?
Don't know.
Huh.
Looking into it.
All right, thanks.
Get on that, Roy.
Bob's.
Too few Bobs. Too few Ruths. Nellies.
Weren't you complaining about Patrick Mahomes' kid's name?
Oh, that wasn't meant for air.
Oh boy.
But because Golden Ray is a beautiful image.
That's the name.
I don't know if it's a great name. that the
Mahomes just
child
had.
will-
That's a nice name.
They had their third child
Is
and
it?
they named it Golden Ray.
Is it a name at all?
Golden Ray?
What's wrong with that name? What's wrong?
It's a made-up name. I think when parents make up names, they're not thinking of the child. Okay, when that child is going into middle school with the name Golden Ray, I think you got to think about that. Quick example: I wanted to name Christopher Bamboo Reed. Arlene stepped in and went, "Let's give him a normal name."
Bamboo Reed Cody.
Yeah, and she used
like
the
it.
phrase "normal name." Okay, so I'm gonna call her up and ask her.
That kid's
was
going to
the joke?
stroll into school as Patrick Mahomes' son.
Well, that's the thing. Is it,
That's
I think
a fair point.
the Mahomes at the end of it kind of trumps the beginning.
Yeah, but it's a woman. It's a girl, Golden Ray.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I need to
It's a made-up
stop
name,
everyone
I don't know.
here because I'm now finding our own show problematic. Greg Cody has now demanded that his wife package his things better after taking care of him, and now he is serving as ombudsman for how people name their kids.
Yeah, I don't demand anything. I just suggest.
Apparently, the common nickname for Demond is Bob.
A parent.
Wow.
Wow.
named the
That's
kid.
interesting.
That's a great fact.
Bob
Yes.
Greasy.
It's according to the weird AI Google internet. So
Really?
I don't know
Wow,
that we can
AI
trust
knows
it,
everything. Yeah. Huh. Demond nickname is Bob. Why?
okay,
It
I'll
should
find
be Demi,
out.
like Demi Moore or something. No?
Dem would work.
Dem? But Dem, it doesn't sound like a nickname. It's like, Dem. Who Dem? Who dat?
right.
Do you
Bob
think?
Bucher.
Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart. Yes.
Excellent. Not
Bob
athleticism.
Euchre.
Not helpful.
Bob-
Bob.
Bob-
Bob
Bucher.
Newhart could sling the pill.
Bob Cousy.
Coos.
The Coozer.
Chris, I would like to speak
Bobby
to
Q.
both my father today and your mother because I want to ask her some questions, including whether or not he was going to name you Bamboo Reed, because I think your father is a liar,
Hopefully she's not cheating.
and I want some
Might be the
answers.
day.
I want some answers to that question as well because I really do think Greg Cody disrespected his union with a woman who is like, I'm not kidding when I say she is 1,000 times the Titan that he is. At his 70th birthday, I will say that the most moved Greg Cody was, as he considered everything from love to mortality, is thinking about the ways that he loves his wife, who has raised a 70-year-old toddler. A man who cannot do anything other than brag about making podcasts and his clicks and looking out at his downloads.
I'm assuming that's what Arlene loves most about Greg, his unwillingness to mature and grow up. He's a kid. He's a kid at heart.
Yes.
He's lovable. He's
Thank
great.
We will ask her. We will ask her that in a second.
Having been given a name that was difficult for many to pronounce correctly, Sanders asked his mother if his name could be changed. His mother suggested Bob as a nickname, and the name stuck.
So the AI internet was wrong.
Huh.
I
maybe
can't
right.
keep up there anymore. I will just tell you, I can't. I have now lost much of my ability to tell what is real and what is not. I don't know if the rest of you are feeling the same.
It's on
thing.
purpose, Dan. They don't want us to know
And
anything.
just as we live in the time of disinformation and dangerous times in general, and I ask the public to please placate me on what do you think the apocalypse looks like? Would it look like some of what's happening in California, like before it started? Would it like whatever it is the end looks like, whatever you imagine it to look like? Do you expect it to just be here in 50 years with an explosion, or are there going to just be occasional hurricane-forced winds during a fire that we weren't aware of?
Bob Saget.
R.I.P.
Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Bobby
There you
Weir.
Rest in power.
A lot of great Bobs.
A lot of dead Bobs.
Bob Dylan, not so
Yeah.
great, overrated.
No, Bob Dylan. Come
He's
on
alive.
now.
Not so good.
Whoa, $50 fine.
What happened?
50. Did you just kill Bob Dylan? You just killed Bob Dylan.
I didn't kill Bob
He
Dylan.
didn't mention
He
it. I
was
just wanted to
good.
make sure I got in front of it. He
I
is
didn't
Someone
alive.
said R.I.P. in response to another Bob.
Yes.
There
that
are
was-
no
that was
great
Bob Saget.
Look, you guys keep saying great Bobs. You're not giving me very many athletic Bobs. I'm not getting an
Big
assortment.
Shot Bob. I
Yeah,
gave
but
it.
that's Robert.
Bobby Abear.
Bob Cousy.
Bob Clemente.
Robert.
Billy gave
No,
you.
that's
Thank
not.
you.
That's Robert. That doesn't get to be Bob.
Well, they're all Robert.
No, but yes, but
Bob
some-
Sapp. MMA.
I know who Bob Sapp
I don't
is.
know.
Bob Sapp. Bob. Well, I don't. There's no way. Lewis, do me the favor, just so that Greg Cody can enjoy the visual reveal of me showing him what Bob Sapp looks like, because Bob Sapp is an international superstar for just being a giant physical specimen, beast of a man in here and Japan, who could not fight a lick, even though he was 350 pounds of bloated muscle and a bit of a superhero, and everyone would kick his ass in whatever it is the fighting sport was, but my God, he was terrifying walking to the ring. Famous only for being giant. Bob Sapp was not a
Oh.
great athlete. He
Bap.
was just someone named Bob.
Okay.
Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Bonds.
Bob Boone.
Ricky Bobby.
Bobby Abreu.
SB Nation dove into this in 2012, guys.
Really?
And apparently, as of
We're
2012,
stealing?
there had only been 1,884 athletes across the NFL, NBA, NHL, and NCAA ever that had gone primarily by the name Bob, not Robert or Bobby or Bob. But at the time in 2012, the only Bob in those sports was Bob Sanders.
Huh.
Wow.
So something has been done already on the deep dive think piece on can Bobs be great athletes? No is the answer. If you're named Bob, you
As
can't
of 13
be.
years ago.
Bob Gibson.
Let's go to
Bob Sura.
Yeah, how
Ooh,
about Bob Gibson?
Oh my God, he
Right.
had to face Teddy Ballgame.
Yeah, damn right.
Yes.
Did he? No.
Yes.
I think Gibson came after Teddy Ballgame.
How about
didn't he?
Bob Feller? I mean,
Another Hall
Oh,
of Famer.
that's a good one. That's a good
The
one.
Indian,
Bob.
back when we called them Indians.
Whoa, careful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're going to call it.
All right, hold on a
We did.
second.
What
Hold on
He
a
was
second.
saying back when,
Hold on a
back
second.
when. Different time.
Hold
Back when we wrapped
on,
presents.
Hold on.
And could say Merry Christmas.
You've got a penalty, 5 minutes. Major asshole.
5 minutes.
Wow.
Wow. Major asshole.
Oh, major.
Let's not rewrite history. Bob Feller played for the Cleveland Indians. I'm
All
sorry.
right, don't repeat yourself.
You're right on Bob Feller. We will look up whether I've cross-contaminated generations here between Bob Gibson and Teddy Ballgame. You're going to have to leave, though. You're going to have to leave because what you did is deeply offensive to me. And you cannot... you can. I will tell you, Stugotz, that in these modern times, I think the funniest moment since we left ESPN for me that I was not able to make fun of is we had a moment on our show where I said that somebody was sitting Indian style. And then, yeah, well, this is what happened back then. Yes, I said someone was sitting Indian style. And then to correct myself, because I got scared of it immediately, then I corrected it to something you'd write in fiction if you were trying to mock my ego-soaked ass. Native American style. And none of you noticed it. And no one corrected me, and we sped through the stop sign, and I was like, that's mortifying what just happened to me there. I was supposed to say crisscross applesauce, which I'm sorry, I feel ridiculous saying.
We noticed. We just kept it moving.
Well, you kept it moving well enough to avoid the problem we presently have, which is Greg Cody, who's feeling full of himself today, and should be, by the way. That first hour was a Greg Cody hour for all time, and furthermore, he came in today with a shocking announcement that he's got a back in my day, a fresh back in my day, out of nowhere, unannounced, hasn't done one of those, and I don't know how long it's been, unless it's for profit through one of his books.
Well, it's Tuesday. I mean,
he's right about that, Jack.
We're in a dangerous place with your old man, Chris, in that he ages poorly in terms of saying that his wife, the lawyer or partner, should do his bags better.
My mom is joining right now, by the way, so she should be here any second.
She's not going to like what's about to be said here.
Bob Gibson has faced 5 Teds. None of them were Ted Williams.
But they did overlap. by years. They just never
2
faced each other.
years. 2 years of overlap.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. I am held clinging to my own ignorance. That is how the sportsman ages right there. You just crisscross generations, 60s, 80s, what was it, 90s, 70s, I don't know. Teddy ball game, and then you point at your friend. That's how it happens. That's how the knowledge base of I used to collect baseball cards disintegrates.
Occasionally, you get 2 points from Greg.
Three of those years, by the way, he was in the military. So.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's an amazing story. For those of you who want to know the legend of Teddy Ballgame, he, in his prime, went off to be a fighter pilot. It's kind of amazing. And then at the end, they cut his head off and put it in some sort of hyperbaric chamber, and it lives in ice.
Yeah.
Bob McAdoo.
Yes. Bob Hairdo.
Oh.
No, my mother, back in my mother's day, women had, it was called a bob hairstyle.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
Still exists.
Arlene, back me up on that. There used to
No,
be a
we'll get to
bob
her in a
hairdo.
second. Hold on a second, Greg Cody. Let's introduce first your wife, who's very busy at a law firm, and she doesn't have time for this nonsense. She really does not. Okay, and
she's always available though.
No, she's not always available. No, she is not always available.
sorry.
That is not in any way true. I ask for her all the time, and she graces us with her presence 2 or 3 times, and it's always to the eternal embarrassment of Greg Cody. So I have a number of different questions to ask you, Arlene. But when he goes Bob haircut there with the joke.
Hairdo. That's a fine.
Because it was off of Bob McAdoo.
Right.
Yeah, I want to know, okay, why she loves this man, a man she's had to take care of for 70 years. And the argument before you got here is, well, he's forever a kid, and she likes that he's immature, and he's always a kid, and he makes her laugh.
Yes, I was saying that's probably what Arlene loves most about Greg Cody.
You did say Arlene. You got her name wrong there. I let it
Sorry.
slide, and I kept it moving the last time.
What's your name?
It's an odd name. We
It's
can agree.
Arlene is her
Arlene,
name.
sorry.
Yes, it's okay. We'll let it slide for now.
Sorry, Arlene.
Don't mean to mansplain to Arlene. It's not Arlene.
Sorry.
It's Sty, it's Stu, what the hell, right? Whatever.
It's his longtime love and a man who takes care of this old man. And the question I want to pose to you, among many, is how is his sense of humor aging at home? Because I found that his Bob joke is lazy even by his standards, that he is getting lazier and lazier on funny with age at home.
Yeah, I think he goes to the, the one that he can just like pull out of it, that he's always said over and over again, like, but don't bump kind of jokes. Yeah, agreed.
Like he'll just put the name Al in front of something that doesn't.
Yeah, just to make us all go, here we go again. I mean, I would like a little I would like a little fresher humor. I agree.
Keep it a quick parenthesis here. I just Googled the phrase Bob hairdo.
Right.
And photos come up of a Bob hairdo.
That's right.
That wasn't lazy. I wasn't making that up.
No, there is a Bob hairdo. That is correct.
Okay, so why is that lazy?
There used to be a big...
It's Bob hairdo.
Mm-hmm. The Bob.
It's not a name. It's a thing.
Yeah. Arlene, when you came on, the reason I started there is when you came on, you made a face like you smelled something bad. Like, there's my husband out in public making one of those stinker jokes of his, not trying very hard. And I saw something, if not shame, it was not love on your face.
Oh, there's always love there.
There you go.
But honestly, I mean, it's like, here we, whatever. Like I said, here we go. Like, can you do better than that? But yeah, sometimes you can't. Like,
Well,
and plus, what would you guys do? You wouldn't be able to make fun of him if he didn't say stupid shit.
Right. It's
That's
charming.
correct.
Yes, you don't want him to change.
That is correct.
Right.
It's, well, she loves him.
Yes.
I don't know of two more important ingredients
Well,
in
do you?
love than
Let's ask her.
understanding and acceptance.
Do you love him?
Yes, of course she loves him.
Of course.
Okay, just making sure.
She went kind of high with her voice there.
Yeah,
though.
that was the lie.
I have a head cold. Give me
Not
wait,
even
give me
close.
a
Head cold. Yeah.
It's going around this time of year.
It
Arlene.
really is.
I have
gave it to
I have a number of questions.
Baby.
Is what you
Give the
love
head
most
cold, too.
about him that he's a kid at heart?
Sure.
What's she supposed to say to that?
Is there something that she loves more about you? You are fiercely protective and speak in poems about how much you love her. I don't know.
No, I mean, he's extremely. I got a 44-year-old, anniversary banner in my house
That's
right
right.
Wow.
Banner. What a great gift.
Yes, thank you. 6x4.
now. Amazon is amazing.
Right.
It really
Yeah.
is. $12.99. That's
you
a
wrap
lot
it?
of banner for $10.
Did you wrap it?
No, I displayed it for her. I put it up banner style.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is what's the over/under of when we can take it down. But that's just,
It's a great question.
March.
It is a great question. How long is too long for the thoughtful gift that
Yeah.
is a testament to Greg Cody's love, all $12.99 of it.
Yeah.
Wants to be celebrated like Cleopatra around his house because he got a banner for $12.99.
That's correct.
When was the anniversary?
January 10th.
Friday.
Oh, I mean, we've been celebrating our 20th for like 6 months
That's
already.
right.
So I
Six
feel
more-
like,
six
Yeah.
more to
A
go.
good year. Yeah.
6 more to
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
44. That's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah.
Do it to
Thanks
your
a lot.
satisfied.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that kind of support. I was like hoping that it was that the deadline. I think the deadline is 1 week. That's my thing.
Okay.
Mom, Dad was saying earlier that you're going too much to the gift bag around holiday time, not wrapping enough gifts like in the old days.
Okay, that's because he wraps 10 gifts and I wrap 200 gifts.
Oh.
Okay.
You don't wrap
So-
gifts. You put them in bags. I mean,
I
honestly.
I don't
look,
think
you're
anybody
not
cares
perfect.
about that except
Right.
you.
I'm revealing
Nobody
a
cares.
minor imperfection in your demeanor.
If Greg
You know?
gave you the opportunity to cheat on him once a month in exchange for wrapping all the gifts perfectly, would you take that
Well,
deal?
hold on a second.
Wait a
There's
minute.
context here.
Once a month.
Yeah,
We
hold
also
on.
started
Hold
with
on.
one.
That
So
was
just one.
presented poorly. Arlene.
That was the part that was presented poorly?
Arlene, yeah.
Wait,
some-
just-
Can you guys please stop disrespecting their
We're
union this
not.
way?
We're not.
not.
We're
We're
not.
asking questions.
Yeah, we're just exactly
Follow-ups.
chewing up some loose ends here. So, Arlene, this is what happened. Someone likened the way that you wrap gifts by putting it in bags to cheating and potential infidelity. So then we naturally ask Greg, well, if you had to choose, Arlene wraps everything.
We didn't
Someone,
do that.
someone.
Everyone but Dan.
So
Someone
what we
did it.
did was
Somebody
we
did
asked
it.
him
Somebody.
if you could choose one form of infidelity versus the other, either cheating in the wrapping gifts or cheating once a year, which would you prefer?
And what did he pick?
Well, it's up to you.
He
You're
said
the
it was
one.
he said it was a good question.
Yeah, he said
I
it was a
want
good
nothing to do
question.
with this. I want nothing to do with this. I didn't pick
Honestly,
anything.
I can't give up the gift bag. I'm sorry.
See, loyal marriage. I love it.
It's a good wife.
Shortcut. It's okay.
So you'd
she's
rather
not
her
cheating
cheat on you?
You know,
She's not cheating.
And by the way, I wrap more than 10 gifts. Thank you very much.
All right, 12.
Yeah. And I bow them as well.
Nobody cares about the bow.
Larry
I care
bow.
about the bow.
Stick on the bow.
Bow in it. David
All right,
Bowie.
well-
What?
Jim
Riddick
Bowe,
Bowe.
Is that
sure.
it?
Hey!
Thank you. What?
Anything
No.
else?
Yes,
Yeah,
I've got one more question and only one, but I really do just want to understand because I don't understand how we've gotten so comfortable with Greg Cody in general that we're just doing the show, and at some point he just shouts across the room in some way that no one notices, "Do it till you're satisfied."
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm like, no one's going to comment on that. Why did he just shout into the din, "Do it till you're satisfied"? Do what till you're satisfied?
It's an all-purpose.
Here comes the cough.
It's that kind of thing. You know.
What do you mean, do it
It's
till you're
because he can't think of
satisfied?
anything else
Oh,
to say. It's
it's
one of
like-
the top 10.
This
Right,
is where
that's
you've
what
got lazy as your humor,
No,
though. Do
it's
it
not
till you're
lazy.
satisfied had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
It has everything to do with what we're talking
The
about.
last question I want to ask you, Arlene,
Yeah.
is were you ever considering or was it ever brought to you that
Wait,
Greg
time out.
It's Arlene.
It should be an open-ended question. You shouldn't say it was the name. You should say to her, what was the name that Greg wanted to name Christopher
all right,
that
you know what?
objected to?
That is an excellent. Thank you.
She may not remember. It's been a while.
Okay, no, but you know what, Greg? I'm going to allow you because I'd be stunned if you were telling the truth on this. Please get it right like an old-timey game show. Please get your wife to answer correctly without you telling her. Ask the question you like to get the response that will make you correct.
Okay, if she remembers it. When you were pregnant with Christopher and we were dreaming up possible names, I came up with, we were going through the usual suspect of names. I came up with a rather unusual name that you vetoed. Do you remember what that name was?
Is that when you were on the LSD? Is that when that was happening?
Yeah.
Please. Come on. Now, that was well after that. You don't remember,
Oh,
do
you mean the bamboo reed thing?
Oh my God! Yes! Upset! Yes! Yes! Bamboo Reed! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Single elimination tournament that pushes the peak male form to high water marks year after year against the game's very best. All with the hope that you and your brothers in combat can rise above all others in one unified voice. Declare yourselves champion. That is why, with every fiber of our being, we love the playoffs.
When the best play, trenches face to face, sacrifice life and limb for the Lombardi. If there's a way, Stafford turns it all around. It would have to be LA, it would have to be McGill. What you say? Tom Brady, always down. Could he turn it all around now? Turn it all around now. Wipes the blood from his lip. Holy shit, he's gonna do it all again, do it all again. It's time for the playoffs. So grab a beer, I hope it's Miller Lite. It's time for the playoffs, the playoffs. It's time for the good stuff, where every game comes down to guys who kick. It's time for the playoffs, the playoffs, the playoffs.
Ah, the playoffs. Our goalies, playoff beards, and Lord Stanley.
No, Roy, I'm not talking about ice hockey. I'm talking about the NFL playoffs, the gridiron, win or go home, the ultimate postseason tournament. Here, let me show you. Big Ben's last game, Kyler's feeling shit. Upsets in Green Bay and in Tennessee. There's just no way Prescott's going to the ground. He slid 1 second too late, and they don't have a timeout. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Arrowhead, become personal playground. Personal playgrounds. Too much time, 13 ticks. Holy shit, he's gonna do it all again, do it all again. It's time for the playoffs. So grab a beer, I hope it's Miller Lite. It's time for the playoffs, the playoffs, the playoffs. It's time for the good stuff, where every game comes down to guys who kick. It's time for the playoffs, the playoffs, the The playoffs sometimes mean having to say goodbye, even if you're not ready. Careers wind to an end, mantles taken, last chapter's written. But stars emerge to write new, exciting stories. For every door that closes, a new one opens. For every immunized quarterback that falls short, there's a young hotshot ready to take his place. There's nothing quite like playoffs, the playoffs. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm talking about the greatest of all time. He can turn it around in just one play. You can watch it all happen in the playoffs. The playoffs, it's the playoffs. Never is afraid. I've seen his face. The chosen. I'm talking about Evan McPherson. It's time for the playoffs. It's the playoffs, the playoffs, it's the playoffs.
Evan McPherson? The GOAT? He's a kicker! I mean, Tom Brady's bed's still warm. Tom Brady just left.
You're the greatest of all time. You're the greatest of all time.
He's beautiful in every way. It's out of control.
He throws the ball most accurately and won 7 rings.
So good at quarterbacking, he's meant to outdecade teams.
A 6th-round draft pick with a chip on his shoulder and a dimple on his chin.
You're the greatest of all time. You're the greatest of all time.
He broke so many records and reached unattainable goals.
I said he was done 10 years ago when he shoved it down my throat.
He played the Jets twice a year and always ripped out their souls.
And just like that, he left us all wanting more. He's a certified gold.
You're the greatest of all time. You're the greatest of all time. You're the greatest of all.
The greatest of all time.
You're the greatest
The greatest of all time.
Huzzah! After an incredible season, the big game is finally here.
Ugh, have fun. I don't even care who's in the big game, unless it's my Steelers.
Come on, Jess. A game they call Super and a town they call Tinsel await. Which oversized behemoth will control the trenches? Which variety of barley wheat lager will woo the consumer? Which 90s rapper will solicit the most yearning nostalgia? There's oh so much to decide.
A game so big, one can only dream of the brightest light shining on your team. But if my team's not there, why even go? With no one to cheer on, I don't get the show. Oh, tell me, you got the reasons. You got the reasons. Take me there. Take me there. Just take me there.
The Super Bowl, 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 the Super Bowl.
I hope you're starting to see the light. Regardless of who's in it, it's a spectacle.
I think I'm starting to come around. Like, for instance,
Everybody wagering on a team. Chris Collinsworth sliding into your screen. I was too caught up in being a fan instead of just shotgunning beers and betting the Rams. Oh, tell me, you got more reasons. You got more reasons. Take me there. Take me there. Just take me there.
The Super Bowl, 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 the Super Bowl.
anything you want, everything you need. You can get it all. Pat McAfee, writings on the wall. What's it gonna be? You'll see Marshall Falk and Mariucci. Anything you want, everything you need. You can get it all from Dominique. Writings on the wall. What's it gonna be? You can get it all. Kyle Brandt's Hemmings.
Going out west for the Super Bowl.
Going out west for the Super Bowl.
My team's not there, but I'm gonna show.
My team's also not there, but I'm gonna show.
Everybody knows it's bound to be.
Everybody knows it's bound to be
The greatest night for you and me. Come on now. Take me there. Take me there. Just take me there.
The Super Bowl, 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 spend all night out in Venice. Then make castles in the sand. Santa Monica's calling, but I'm here to cover the Rams. I'll stay in and avoid chateaus. If I booze, then I'm on Skid Row. Just one drink to begin, not like that's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is!
Baby, one scotch at the Roxy.
Come on now!
One shot at whiskey, a go-go.
There we go!
Now we're drinking to unemployed temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thin bowl of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super
I mean, we have been locked up for a while.
Yeah, there's no rule against covering the big game and enjoying La La Land.
Wait a minute, it's the Walk of Fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton.
Hey, guys.
Kyle Brandt.
You gonna shotgun a beer or what?
I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
To the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
What's up, everybody? Your boy is back from paternity leave, and I have a very important announcement. UFC 311 MMA Hangout is back at Casa Tiki live and in person at the #1 UFC bar on the planet, Casa Tiki. We'll be watching UFC 311. That's Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. #2, we've got the bantamweight title also in line between Merab Dvalishvili, and we've got Umar Nurmagomedov undefeated. Plus, we got a banger to open all that stuff up. Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill, 10 p.m. Saturday night at Casa Tiki Live if you want to pull up on the boys, or YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you watch the MMA Hangout. Support us. We love you. 2025, big year. We're back. Let's go.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
I will tell the audience here, after a few years of Metal Arc, that Tony's story is charming and amazing as one of these loyal gorillas who will run with our show no matter where it goes, in terms of leaving the safety net so that he can go chase some of the things that he wanted in Miami where there are not media companies. Tony has hustled his way into something with those MMA hangouts that he's doing, where a lot of people are gathering. They are getting popular. Sponsors are around him, and he's doing it till he's satisfied. And now he's brought a kid into the world, and we haven't celebrated it here, or we haven't talked about. I didn't feel like Billy got enough paternity leave. I don't even know how much is
You and me both, sister.
Is the right, how much, he says, eating Funyuns. Are a lot of people eating Funyuns these days? That's an old school snack, is it
really
not?
is.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are Funyuns still popular? I loved Funyuns, but I haven't had one since I was 17.
Did you love Funyuns at 11 a.m. in the morning?
Well, I was going to say, not many people are eating Funyuns at 10:44 a.m.
I ate one of my daughter's snacks the other day that I used to crush when I was a kid. The fruit roll-up just doesn't slap the same as when you were
They've
younger.
changed the fruit roll-up, and we don't need to get into that today because we'll be on that for a while.
I want to get to a number of things with you, including Funyuns. This is am I wrong in saying that that's an old school snack? I would assume that many people are still eating Funyuns. I'm not used to seeing what I just saw. Not at 11 a.m., not at any time.
Well, I mean, here's the weird thing. I'm not a fan of onions. I had an incident, but Funyuns I'm still good with. Funyuns are the fun onion. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that's why it's called Funyuns, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so they did it before you, Chris.
I love Funyuns because they're super salty and super crunchy, which is what I love in a snack.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know Funyuns was short for fun onions? I don't know that is so.
What else would it be short for?
I just thought it was a fun way of saying
Funyun.
onions.
Yeah, Funyuns.
Funyuns.
Yeah, and they're like onion rings. You know, onion rings. Have you heard of onion rings?
Yeah, delicious.
Onion rings
I
are
love
like
onion rings. Are one of the most underrated of all of the snacks.
Yes.
In general, I would make onion rings a Hall of Famer for underrated, criminally underrated. I don't know if it's a snack or if it's a loose end or what I would call it, an appetizer.
I like this, though, a Hall of Fame for the underrated. This is great.
But they're also on the all don't travel team. They don't travel well.
No.
It's not a good thing to get to go.
Yeah, they got to be thin as well.
And they can burn your mouth easily.
Do they have to be thin?
Yeah.
Crispy. I don't know about
crispy. Yeah, I mean, I hate a wet, flaccid onion.
I hate the thick onion ring though. When the onion is like that, it's.
You hate that?
Yeah.
Yeah, too much.
It's a different appetizer. You got to have the thin ring.
You got to have sharp teeth because if you don't, you bite into it once and the onion comes out of the outer shell.
I like the onion strings. Those are my favorite.
Oh, like Flanagan's.
Yes.
It works for the bloomin' onion.
Yeah.
As well there.
The bloomin' onion, that was good. Those
Yes.
were little pieces though.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. They were pretty thick.
But they
bloomin'
were
onion.
small though. They weren't big, thick rings. They
weren't rings.
Yeah,
no.
they were like petals.
Yeah,
flower
they were
petals.
petals. Exactly.
Well, it's blooming.
Of a beautiful flower. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes, a fried
That's right.
flower.
Yes, a fried flower. My favorite kind. My most romantic kind of flower. Ron McGill, before I ask you animal questions, can I get your opinion on both Funyuns and onion rings?
I hate onions, any kind of onions. Onions and pickles, totally out of my league. I won't eat them. I hate them, and they're disgusting. It's minus pickles and onions for anything I ever order.
Wow.
Roy, are you noticing, like I am, that the jacket that Ron is wearing, clearly animal skin bought with some of the charitable funds our listeners, and fine animal skin bought by money that our listeners have donated to his endowment. The open shirt and the chain, where is Ron McGill coming from looking like this?
I'm going to give a presentation right after I have the pleasure of speaking to this wonderful crew.
What will you be presenting?
Sounded
Your
sarcastic.
I'll
endowment?
be presenting on Pride of the Lion.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Quasi.
Let's go. Sell that
Wait,
book.
you're doing a presentation. Wait a minute. You're going door to door with presentations, selling the book Pride of a Lion, done by you and Greg Cody?
Yes, I'm doing a presentation for the Broward Public Library System up in Broward County this afternoon.
Do it till you're satisfied.
What kind of crowd will that draw? How many books will that sell? Is there a minimum admission?
So don't know.
It's a library, man.
It's generally seniors. It's generally seniors.
Well, that's why I was so stunned to see A.J. Brown holding a physical book on the sidelines. I didn't think that people his age did that anymore.
That book is #1 on Amazon
That's
right now.
great.
Yes.
That is such a product placement. That is so good. People want to know how to have one catch for 4 yards.
That is the truth. I sent A.J. Brown a whole box full of Pride of a Lion.
Did you?
I did the
Reads that
same.
in the
It's
next
funny
week.
you did
Wow.
Look, I've got more respect than I did for him before. I thought that bamboo reed thing was a joke. I can't. We're just going to move right
Respect
past.
on that.
I mean, unbelievable. We haven't had an ending to a segment that dramatic and that victorious for Greg Cody, and I do not know how long. Amazing work by you,
And it
Greg
overshadowed the follow-up of, was that when you were on LSD?
Yeah.
Bamboo is doing a great job.
Well, that's what I want to do. I want imaging going forward of Chris Cody as Bamboo Reed. I want you to have like a bit of an Indiana Jones character of what you could have been. Vastly more interesting than the character I get today. If you had indeed become Bamboo Reed Cody, outdoorsman, back when your dad was on LSD. Let's show Ron some video here. I want to show some B-roll here of a lioness. She is snarling and swiping at a male lion after what looks like just a greeting, a friendly greeting here. Tell me what's happening and do play-by-play for this on this,
Okay.
Ron.
This female lioness is trying to get the lion's attention. This is actually her way of getting attention. She wants to be bred, actually. See how she's raising her tail, raising herself, putting right in front of him like that? She's kind of getting his attention. She'll probably end up coming back again. But this is just basically they're kind of a little bit of a foreplay thing. And, the female basically runs the show when it's that situation going on. Once she's in the total peak of her heat, they'll breed every 20 minutes for about 3 days.
Whoa.
Wow, baby.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, man.
What is the, and not insect kingdom, but what is the most prodigious of the animal kingdom in this regard in terms of appetite?
The Shaw's Jerd, it's a little rodent. It looks like a gerbil. Does it about every 20 seconds.
Do it till you're satisfied.
Yeah, and often.
But never never satisfied. But not
exactly, because in that 20-second interval, it has to have a few seconds for recovery. So it's a very quick thing. I mean, it's,
Yeah, same with me.
It's not something that, maybe some of you guys are used to, but
that's why Arlene gave it up so easily. She's like, I'll be gone for 7 seconds and then come home and eat a sandwich. Let's speaking of sandwiches, let's play the cassowary. The cassowary is very dangerous. The cassowary will disembowel you.
This is terrifying.
Do not turn your back to a cassowary. The cassowary has a clawed talon, and what is happening here, Ron? She's got a sandwich.
Somebody's being stupid for a selfie. I don't know what she was doing there, but if that
She's got a sandwich. She's got a sandwich, and the cassowary.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a problem with people probably feeding this cassowary on this beach, and this cassowary now associates people with food and is looking for the food. And this woman's running away, and the cassowary is going after her because he wants the sandwich. And they all think it's cute until somebody gets disemboweled.
What would you recommend, though, if I'm on the beach with my wife and I see a cassowary? Like, do I throw my sandwich far away from me?
Yes, exactly, Chris.
That is feeding it, technically.
Well, it is, but you're already the point of no return, okay? So this is a situation where now you've either, this cassowary's already been acclimated to associating people with food. Damage has already been done. Now you're in a situation where you got to protect yourself, get the animal away from you.
Ron, is that related to the ostrich? It's got to be, right?
It's a type of a flightless large bird. I don't know if it's quite in the rat-type family like the emus and the rheas are, but it's very similar, I guess, in structure. And
it's not as big, right? The ostriches is bigger. The ostrich is the biggest of the flightless birds, right?
That is correct. The ostrich is bigger, yes.
But this one is more dangerous?
Oh, yes, because it can be aggressive. This one will feed on a lot of different things, including small animals. So it has a very huge middle claw that it will kick with and will disembowel you.
Wow.
The ostrich is
the most dangerous bird in the world to humans.
The ostrich, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know the cassowary was the most dangerous bird in the world to humans? The ostrich is not carnivorous, or it also eats small?
No, the ostrich is a finely tuned eating machine. They'll eat everything from metal screws to ping pong balls, but they're not as voracious a feeder as the cassowary is.
All right, I was saying, but they do eat meat, do they not? The ostrich doesn't eat meat?
Not really, no. I mean, it may do so, on a whim, but it's not the mainstay of its diet.
So, but wait, are you saying that basically the ostrich is kind of like a giant buzzard in terms of nutrients? That it's not a classy bird in terms of what it eats?
No, it puts almost anything into its mouth. People who keep them under human care, the big challenge they have with them. There you see the claw of that cassowary. The big challenge people have keeping ostriches is keeping them from eating things that they're not supposed to eat. I mean, we've had ostrich in captivity that we have found everything, like I said, from screws to springs to coins in their bellies.
The claw of the cassowary we just showed, that's the closest thing we'll find in the animal kingdom to looking like a dinosaur claw, correct?
I agree with you, 100%. Yes, that's kind of like it's modern day velociraptor type stuff.
Billy, you were asking earlier in the show a question about fighting with a sword, a bull or a tiger. What was the question? Ron McGill is perfect to talk about this.
Well, Ron, so someone broke into Roy's car, so he dressed like a gladiator so no one else would break into his car today. Mm-hmm. And then one thing led to another, and we started talking about lions versus tigers in terms of, modern-day gladiators versus bullfighters, and which you would rather fight with a sword. Would you rather fight a bull with a sword or a lion with a sword?
Oh, a bull, 100%. There's no question about it. Keep in mind, a bull is not a predator that feeds on carnivorous things. The bull is just being aggressive, trying to defend itself. You got 2 horns as opposed to a whole set of teeth and 10 claws in both of those animals that are born killers.
Ron, I I recently went to the zoo, and
You did, and I got to tell you, Billy, I ran across you, and I cannot believe that you produced such an absolutely gorgeous baby. That is one of the most gorgeous babies I've ever seen in my life.
Why are you so shocked? I mean,
I'm just pretty amazed because I'm telling you, I'm sure you guys have seen this kid. This kid, and I'm not a big. I usually think that most babies look like lizards that need to be put back for further cooking.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Do most babies look like lizards who need to be put back for the cooking?
Yeah, I mean, but I got to tell you, Billy's little girl was one of the most precious things I've ever seen.
Thank you, Ron. So, anyways, I saw you by the tiger exhibit, and I have two questions about my visit to the zoo. One, we were told that when you can't see the tigers, sometimes they climb up into the trees, and they're hiding in the trees to get shade. And I said, it seems like a little maybe the tigers are just hiding, and we don't see them, but they're telling us they're in the trees. And then the follow-up to that question is, I then saw the chimpanzees, and you were just talking about ostriches eating everything, and you find screws and whatever. And on a previous visit to the zoo, I told you I saw someone throw some ice cream to a chimpanzee because they asked for it. And I noticed this time when I saw the chimpanzees, there's now a speaker with Ron McGill's voice blasting, saying, "Do not throw anything to the chimpanzees, or we will prosecute you, and you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law," in both English and Spanish on a nonstop loop. Is that good for the mental health of these chimpanzees, hearing your voice over and over and over again?
I'll tell you, it's not good for my mental health. It's not one of the things that I supported. They asked me to make the recording. I will say that you're being a little bit extreme in that, I don't say that you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I don't think that's what we say.
Disemboweled, I heard.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway, I think basically what we say, listen, please don't feed them because they have a very specific diet. And by feeding them something that's not on their diet can get them pretty sick. So that's what I say. And I do say it in my both languages, even though my Spanish is a little bit left to be desired. Having said that, that loop only happens when people move in front of it. It's set up by a motion sensor. So it's just, it's not playing continuously around the clock that the chimps have to listen to it, God forbid.
Ron, what is the status right now of your Sex and the Animals, your Sex and the Animals yearly presentation that for many years is one of the most iconic sold-out events that we've ever had in South Florida?
I don't do it. It's been put on the shelf. The only way I will ever do it is if Dan Le Batard asked me to do it for something for him.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All right.
How about
I think I might do that.
one-on-one
I
thing.
Really,
that
a
is
private
doing
show,
you
a
up,
private show.
That
yes.
presentation now is part of the Dan Le Batard show.
You guys, okay, that's great. Well,
Let's do it.
I will find a way to do that for our audience.
I don't
at
think
some
you were
point in the
invited, Greg.
future.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Will, Greg, Cody, Dan, and Stugotz have sex with the animals? Because that's what Stugotz is insinuating. No, but it's a very popular thing that he does because it's just science. And I'd like for you to explain with your expertise, because I've said this before. I know we're spoiled around here. But in terms of national authorities in the animal realm, now that Steve Irwin has passed and we don't really have a lot of people who do this between languages, Spanish and English, Ron McGill represents I think, the most famous caretaker for the animals right now that we have in America, speaking on behalf of, can we just care for the animals? And this video right here that I want to show you, Ron, I want you to explain to me how mountain goats do this, what these goats are doing, because I don't understand how they traverse a mountainside this way when this seems to defy the laws of physics.
Jesus.
That they can... That they can have that kind of facility on the side of a mountain where if they were to slip, all of them would slip to their death.
And it does on occasion happen. I will say it does on occasion, but rarely happen. It's just a wonderful adaptation, Dan. It's a matter of survival. It's a matter of growing up in an environment that you adapt to. These animals, if you looked at their hooves are almost like pointed. So they are able to actually grasp the tiniest little ledge. And they are able to survive that way. I mean, this is how they escape predators, things like leopards and other carnivores. But I will say that I have seen an occasion where they lost footing and they die. So
I bet it's more
not like
I bet it's more common than you'd imagine. Like, we just see the good ones because they're good at it.
Right.
I don't know. That's possible. I do
fair.
know that it does happen. But the fact that nature is a circle of life, and the ones that don't succeed, they become food for something else. But again, these animals have adapted to an environment that enables them to do things that are absolutely incredible.
What would you say, Ron? Because I will remind again the audience, I haven't done this in a while, the audience, the reason that Ron is so good to the show and so available to the show as someone who has never made any money off the show except for the charitable contributions with which he buys expensive cars, fancy trips, and the
jackets.
The jacket that he is presently wearing. He does a lot of big work with the help of our listeners who represent the biggest donations that he gets at Miami Zoo because of how much they appreciate how great he is with the animals. So if you want to help the animals directly, his endowment is always available to you. If I were to play for you a bunch of video here that would amaze you the way that one did, what represents the most amazing thing like that you believe exists in the wild? An adaptation so amazing that it defies the law of physics.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, I looked at, when I looked at that video, it reminded me of another one, which is probably the most jaw-dropping video I've ever seen. I'm sure Stugotz can find it. Find a snow leopard actually going after one of those animals, getting it, and both of them plummeting down well over 150 feet against the rocks and surviving. Wow. Watch that video. It is one of the most incredible videos I've ever seen of an animal defying everything to survive. So, except the, of course, didn't, because it ended up getting killed by the leopard. But look at the leopard never letting go and plummeting down on these rocks, hundreds of feet down a sheer cliff. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Another thing that's unbelievable, look at the golden eagles grabbing chamois, which is a type of antelope, grabbing them, babies that are twice the weight of the darn eagle. Now look at this. Watch this. Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. Now it's going to grab, and then when it grabs it, they both plummet. Look at, now watch this. Watch this. Go, wait, get him. Is this the one? This isn't the one. This isn't the real good one. But why? Now, this isn't the real good one. There's one that it's like death for sure of this snow leopard grabbing a chamois. But no, that's a crappy one. There's a much better one. But look at the golden
eagle. No, that's a good one because it got away. That wasn't a bad one. That was a good one because it got away.
It was bad for the snow leopard. But here's the deal. Look at the golden eagle.
Man!
All right, Stugotz is watching it by himself. He's not helping anybody. He's doing his own.
It's unbelievable.
Right, but that's not helping anybody, Stugotz. You're doing your own.
I mean, he asked me to look it up.
Yeah, but you're doing your own private show, Stugotz.
And then look at a golden eagle grabbing
the video.
A golden eagle grabbing an antelope. And then it's too big for the golden eagle just to kill the antelope. So what does it do? It grabs it. It weighs more than the eagle, flies way up in the air, and then drops it to its death so it can eat it. It's unbelievable stuff.
All right, we are looking for it, and now is this the video?
Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
Hold on.
Okay, this is the one right
Watch
here.
it. Look at this. Watch it. It's unbelievable. Watch this. Goes across the cliff, grabs it, and then look at this. Look at this, Dan.
Holy shit!
Oh,
this doesn't seem well thought
It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. Watch this. It's not over, brother. Boom, boom, oh, boom.
Wow. You're saying this as if this was the plan. It seems like this thing was trying to catch the food and just started falling down a mountain.
God.
I mean, this is unbelievable. And he doesn't let it go. Come on, Dan. Come on.
No, it is amazing. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm just,
beyond amazing.
Still,
it's beyond amazing.
All right, don't yell at me. I don't.
I'm just so excited when I see this stuff.
If I had a hamburger, if I had a hamburger in my hand and I'm going down that mountain, I'm holding onto that hamburger, Ron. It's not that impressive. I mean, geez, what are we talking about?
Well, okay. What do I have to say so you're sufficiently satisfied? Do it until you're satisfied.
Watch this. Grabbing the chamois. I'm glad you guys find this stuff. And then it takes it up in the air. It flies with this thing. It flies with it. Look at this. And then it'll take it to its death.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's horrifying for that poor thing.
Dan, this is unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
This is
ouch.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus. That is a gruesome death. Just took that thing, threw it to its death. I didn't like that video. That is horrible. That's a snuff film you just showed us.
Wow.
It's this is irresponsible what we're doing. I like the animal videos where the animals get away. I like the iguana running across 1,000 snakes in the desert.
Not how nature works, Dan.
Everything's got to eat, Dan.
Right.
And you got to think of how incredible animals are to adapt to get their food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Look, I am not.
And it's not how nature. It's not how nature works.
All right. Listen to me.
Anything can happen.
Okay. Listen to me. I'm well aware the wild is terribly cruel. More cruel than I could possibly imagine. Show me the videos where the iguana gets away from 1,000 snakes. I like those better.
Oh, yeah.
I like those better than the videos of the thing dying at the end because a giant bird has taken a wonderful stuffed animal and thrown it off a cliff so it could fall 700 feet to its death. Amazing that the bird is that smart. Don't want to watch it as a video entertainment experience. Thank you.
You're showing me a video where the iguana didn't get away.
No, this one gets away, I think.
Is he gonna
Are
get
you
away?
showing me?
No, I think he gets away. Wait for it.
Hold on
No
a
one gets
second.
out of this
Oh,
one.
yeah!
That is the Derrick Henry of iguanas.
Look at this. Broken tackles. So many broken tackles in the open field.
Oh, no.
Joe Mixon.
Beautiful.
Hey, listen, the bottom line is wildlife is amazing, whichever way you look at it.
That is correct. I prefer it alive, though. So let's play for Ron McGill here, the last video of the day. Explain to me what a service dog is doing here in the paying of groceries, because I know Greg Cody has lamented service dogs as if they're not useful, comfort animals. Here's a service dog learning something I did not know that service dogs knew how to do, which is pay cash money or pay credit card for a purchase at a grocery store. Is this stupid pet tricks or is this a real thing?
It's basically stupid pet tricks. It's the dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it and to present it to someone else.
I'm sorry, Ron. Let me interrupt you for a second. Greg muttered something drunk into the microphone because he's starved for 2 hours and is kind of bored. What were you saying, Greg?
I'm just remarking that you could shortchange a dog and it wouldn't know the difference. That.
And you are correct, Greg.
You're right. Yep.
You are correct.
Thank you.
That dog has been trained
Perfect.
to give whatever the owner gives it to the person, and whatever the person gives back to the owner.
Exactly.
It's not counting the change.
Why would you not say that loud enough for all of us to enjoy it? Why would you slur it bored
I want to
into
cut
the
up
microphone?
how he said it originally.
Play that part. Please do that for me. Just go somewhere.
Slurred.
Look, at the end of this segment, I want nothing but a gladiator in the room. Nothing but a gladiator. I want you to go cut up for me what Greg Cody asked as a question. So bored is he by the daily doing of our show that he's gassed by the third hour of doing it.
I mean, it's back-to-back days for Greg.
Really?
It is.
Seriously.
So,
Thank you.
Look, Travis Kelce says this is the toughest job in the world. Greg Cody does no longer have the stamina for what this requires weekly, every day. And by now, of 2 consecutive days, he's usually fading. We will find that sound, and we will play that sound for you in a second. But
I'm hearing from the team back there that you can't even make anything out.
No.
I'm about to hear the
doesn't
audio.
matter.
You don't understand. Okay, listen to me. I want everyone to know what the frustration of my General Tuesdays are. He's had nothing since shouting into a crowd, "Do it till you're satisfied." He's run out of material since then. And look at him, drinking vigorously from the cup of satisfaction.
What about that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. And the bobs.
Attributed that.
Right.
And the bob hairdo.
It was all before that. You had a spree. You had a hot streak. We fed you the ball. You took 7 straight shots. You nailed all of them. You haven't listened since.
Hey, guy turned into that guy.
That wasn't
Right.
you.
It was a long time ago.
He's done his work for the day.
I have. I really have.
And he has it back in my day.
I heard he has one.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's, of course, it's Tuesday.
You know what, Ron? I've got no more questions for you. You've got to run to this presentation. Would you like to be here for a Greg Cody back in my day? We're about to unveil.
He's got to run, man.
The first fresh Greg Cody back in my day, and I'm going to say about 8 months. Maybe more than that. Maybe more
I've got to
than
hear
that.
it. No, I'm staying. Those people can wait.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
excellent. He's coughing here at the beginning of it. Are you okay? Are you ready to do this, Greg?
We'll see.
All right.
And now, it is time to take a trip down memory lane. Here's your guide, Greg Cody, with Back in My Day.
Cruise ships. Okay, first a quick disclaimer. More like a preemptive strike. Way back in 2019, I did a Back in My Day about theme cruises, which are awful. Now, I'm here to talk about an even bigger and more pervasive trend in the cruise industry. If you've seen any of the many TV ads for cruises lately, you know what I'm talking about. It's all about the action and excitement now. You see any of these ads? Just watching them makes me exhausted. People dive bombing feet first down terrifying vertical water flumes, bungee jumping out over the ocean, surfing simulators, tidal waves, indoor skydiving, scaling a rock, zip lines. What am I, in a Marine boot camp? I didn't sign up for a thrill ride. I don't want to compete. I want to relax on my cruise. Get my money's worth on the drink card and doze on the deck in a chaise lounge with a dog-eared paperback on my lap, preferably Pride of a Lion. Can't even do that. Nowadays, the decks are a raucous boulevard with serpentining conga lines of dancers and Carmen Miranda hats and ping pong tables. Tell me the genius who thought that up. A ping pong ball weighs less than 1/10 of an ounce versus gale force ocean wind. You can't relax anymore on a cruise deck because the ship has jogging trails as health nuts who forgot they were on vacation are huffing it past, constantly checking their smartwatch to see if they're on pace. On pace for what? To be a more fit corpse? And why are there gyms on cruise ships in the first place? It's an oxymoron. It's like having a cocktail lounge in a synagogue. I don't need a gym to work out. I'm doing 12-ounce curls with a Miller Lite bottle. You won't catch Greg Cody doing anything more strenuous on a cruise than playing a couple of holes of mini golf, watching my wife lose at bingo, getting annoyed during some trivia contest, or praying at the roulette wheel. One other thing, it's not a Broadway or a Cirque du Soleil. I'm on a big, slow boat. I don't need a concert or a show production. Just give me an open buffet and a bar every 25 feet. Make cruise ships dull again. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
So hold on a second, Greg, and a very worthy return. You're saying that a gym in a cruise ship is like a cocktail bar in a synagogue.
Yeah, cocktail lounge, I believe I said.
A cocktail lounge, an important distinction because it's a funnier word,
Right.
lounge,
Yeah.
cocktail bar, not as funny
Yeah.
as
Right.
This is a prideful word thing of
Yeah,
that you,
sure.
it's tough to do it every week, which is why we get them once every 8 months.
Right, yeah, 8 or 9 months, yeah.
Are you guys in agreement with that? Every gym I've ever gone to on a cruise ship is filled with people.
I know.
I didn't know they had a gym.
Yeah.
Same.
Sad.
Put it on the poll.
I
At
never get
Lebit-
past the casino.
At Le Batard Show. Did you know they had gyms on cruise ships, and also is a gym in the cruise ship like a cocktail lounge in a synagogue?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm at that bar at the top by the pool, I'll see the track where people are walking, and I always am like, get out of here, guy.
Seriously.
With your little mile
Come on.
before you go to the.
You're on vacation.
Yeah, I just got back.
We're on a
From the
cruise.
Galapagos Islands on a yacht, doing Galapagos cruise. This is a wildlife, and there was a flipping gym on that yacht.
Can you believe it?
I couldn't believe it.
Is this another one of these paid-for trips that you've embezzled from the endowment?
Absolutely.
Tell me more, because you haven't been around for a couple of weeks because you've been in the Galapagos. What have you been doing? And another amazing trip. Ron McGill sees the world while wearing fancy leather jackets?
I'm going back to the Galapagos in May and then to Australia in June.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Good seeing you.
See you, Ron.
Good seeing you
Appreciate
too,
it.
man. Take care.
Always good seeing you. And thank you, as always, to our listeners. That segment never gets old. It really doesn't. I don't understand how it never gets old, but it never gets old because there's always new stories to talk about with him. I'm very happy about the return of Back in My Day. I'm very happy and thrilled that our audience has supported these books so much. I will say that it is a great career honor for our show, for the audience, to respect the written word enough to make books successful. The Pride of a Lion is wildly successful for a small local publisher that continues to publish multiple Greg Cody books because it's profitable to publish Greg Cody books if the people from our world are involved in them, like Ron McGill and Stugotz, and the listeners can support those things.
Yep. Greg, do you have a third book on the horizon, or fourth book, I should say?
Yeah, counting Fins at 50, which I don't really count.
Because you didn't sell it through the show. If you had, you would
Oh,
count it.
Exactly, yes. They've approached me about another book.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Look
it.
at you.
Yeah. My plate's a little full right now, but we'll see.
I like that Jeremy continues to take chances by trying to make songs quickly. We will go to a new collection of music from Jeremy in a second. But as it relates to just Ron McGill in general and everything he's doing with and for the animals and Pride of a Lion, you guys are very happy with your book sales, correct? Like, are we done selling books? Are we? How does this
We're
work?
never done selling
Are you going to
books.
tell Are you going to tell the audience at some point what it has done for you, other than get you more publishing deals? Like, are you going to thank the audience for supporting the projects?
I mean, I will thank the audience to the end of the earth. They've made all the books successful, including Stugotz's book, personal record book. The great thing about books is that they age well. You put out a book, and it really never gets old. People are reading it all the time, right?
It's a great bathroom book.
It is.
It's a book. It is the perfect size. Back in my day, is easy reading
Great.
in the bathroom.
What I have learned about the book industry, Dan, and books in general is you're never done selling your book. You're never done with it. And so Father's Day is right around the corner, and that's a whole new revenue stream for me and Greg on the same book.
I think that's
Yeah.
how everyone
Right.
thinks of
Yes.
Father's Day. It's the most romantic way to think of it, as a whole nother revenue stream. That is the way to think of fatherhood, parenting in general. Chris, I've been watching here. Billy had to run. Billy's hair's on fire all the time. He's always producing. And so he had to go do Underdogs, and he ran out of the room.
Yep.
And you have been working in the shadows with Stugotz, concocting. I can see you guys working while we do a live show. You've been trying to find this sound that Greg Cody made, and I've worked with you guys long enough, and we can communicate without talking well enough, that you guys are disappointed by the sound. I can tell that it's not good enough to get us the punctuation we need on this segment. But even not having heard it,
right?
The part that I want to reveal to the audience is Greg Cody is a professional broadcaster who at this point in his career is largely bored with what we're doing around here. And he doesn't have much stamina for what we're doing. So after 2 hours where he's really been the star and wonderful, like this has been an epic Greg Cody Tuesday.
Yep.
Epic. An old school Greg Cody Tuesday.
That's a fine, man. A Venmo fine. It's double on Tuesdays with Greg here.
You know what? You're
Yeah,
right. I've got to figure out. I've got to. You're right. I do. I owe. Find the Venmo penalty. Tell me what it is. And no, you got to do it now.
I'll find it.
You got to. We got to get the payment now. We can't just get the payoff.
A mistake is $1.
Yeah, it's not a mistake though. It's not just. I called him Ed Cody, and that's a mistake on a name. It's a mistake on. What is the Venmo fine bucket? What are the costs?
The Venmo fine bucket chart: $1 for a mistake, $2 for a cough or phlegm into the mic, $3 for pestering, $5 for tone, $7 not listening, $10 phone interruption, $50 if you kill someone. Fines are doubled on Tuesdays. Only applies to Greg Cody.
Technically, you killed Greg and made him Ed. So
I didn't kill him. He could have lived somewhere else in witness protection as Ed. I did not kill him. There was no suggestion that I killed him.
No, I love the name Ed, so I'm going to give you a special dispensation and waive your fine.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to waive.
Do you have that power?
Well,
I do.
He owes $2. How about just $1?
All right, put in $1. Call Venmo.
It's not how it works.
Venmo.
Yeah, send Venmo.
Hey, Ven.
$1.
Eddie Ballgame.
Right.
Call Venmo.
Whoever Venmo is, Venmo. I assume it was somebody's name. Send him $1. You don't need $2 because I've waived $1.
Yes.
Are you in charge of the fine bucket? I'm not
Did you
fined
ask
according
Venmo?
to this
Yeah,
fine
we
system. I'm not charged by this.
Oh, well, you should be. I mean, that's absolutely a fine when you misname someone. You know? I mean,
Especially one of your oldest friends.
yeah, I mean,
geez.
Ed. Nobody calls me Ed. Well, my wife does sometimes, but that's like we won't get into that.
So let me hear this sound, please, without any further ado, because
Yes.
I am told that the sound's not good enough now and that there's going to be no payoff. But I just want the audience to see what my Tuesday experience has been for 20 years, okay? Which is I've watched Greg Cody get more and more tired. Me and the woman who loves him just agreed, my God, the comedy has gotten lazy late in age. He just throws out a couple of farts and expects everyone to laugh. Because,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
buy
not
my
true at all.
books. That's who I am. I'll be working on Broadway. I deserve Las Vegas shows. I'm Hee Haw 3's Greg Cody.
Okay, way to speak for me.
I sell books and I sell out Las Vegas shows. I'm a musician. I'm a talent. I could have sold out a church, but for some reason that event got canceled.
Yeah, I have been approached to do Broadway, but that's a whole nother story. Continue.
You'd be good at it.
Let me hear Greg Cody. Let's
Broadway
see.
Joe.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, this is Ron McGill is talking, and Greg Cody, because we're throwing into a video of a service dog that is on a counter paying a cashier in either cash or a credit card. Greg Cody's trying to make the joke that the dog would not know if you shortchanged it because the dog does not know denominations. Here is that sound of Greg Cody making that joke in the bored, laziest way possible.
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.
That's what you're supposed to know what it is. That
Right
Greg
in the
Cody,
middle of Ron.
Yeah,
You hear-
professional
I think you
broadcaster.
should.
Yes, let's go, please again. Yes.
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.
Yeah, there it is, Greg
Feel
Cody.
like you should.
What was the exact mutter? Like,
Yes, not trying at all. Not,
In respect for Ron, not wanting to interrupt him, I
Right.
murmured.
So
I
you
did
talked
a
over him.
low
you did
murmur.
try to.
I make it out now. You can hear him saying, "I feel like you could."
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.
I mean,
Did you
service
finish
dogs,
the
come
thought?
on.
Did you finish the thought? Was it half a mutter? Is that
Yeah,
even?
It was half a mutter. A mutt.
We knew what he was
A mutt.
thinking, though.
Yeah, I muttered for a dog. Get it? Mutter, dog.
You did not even finish the thought. You belched out 4 syllables of bored, muttered commentary that just gets in the way and isn't a complete thought.
Right, out of respect to Ron.
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.
The mutter.
You talked over him.
He sounds so indifferent.
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.
It was a personal aside, not meant for the air. I
feel like
muttered.
you should.
I murmured.
You spoke into a mic.
He shot his cannon on do it till you're satisfied.
The dog's been taught to take something that the owner gives it.